Oh, hello everybody. What is going on? We are back with more The Letter. We are now up to Ashton, that asshole. That's right. And I think, judging from the text right now, we're moving on from when Ashton invaded Luke's party. Hello, cowboy. How are you doing? Great to see you again. Good to see you. We are back into it. So, why don't we start? Parties have never been... Blah, blah, blah. What a bad start. I'm so sorry. Apparently today I can't read either. Parties have never been really my thing. They're always such a hassle and take so much time off my day. Prior plans and commitments cancelled. All for the sake of playing along with others.
Welcome everyone.
Hello Anna. I hated them even as a child.
Please make yourselves at home.
I will. But Mum often insisted. She'd slick my hair back, put me in one of those stuffy dinner jackets. Well, that's not too bad. And if there were any children around, urged me to make friends. Okay, well, I mean, I guess as a kid, and you would hate that would kind of traumatize you a bit, maybe. Work's been stressing and time consuming, but I got the day off finally. Yeah, tell me about it. Me too, cowboy, in the same boat. Never mind how utterly loud or tedious it was. It was all for the sake of keeping up appearances. To some extent, lies have always surrounded me, long before I've chosen what I wanted to do with my life. Luckily, there were easy ways to tune everything out, and much to my mum's frustration, I always managed to sneak my CD player along. Oh, dang. CD player? Yeah, Ashton's a 90s kid. Definitely a 90s kid. So that makes what? Ashton maybe about, 28, 29, 30s, something like that maybe? Well, I don't know. It depends. Maybe Ashton's even, maybe early 80s, perhaps, depending on when this was set. Hello, Ruth. How you doing? I kept to myself and to my music and my own little world until I learned to observe. It's a simple matter of awareness, really, and for someone with keen eyes, a skewed necktie or a simple flick of wrist alone could tell volumes about a person. I still don't like parties, especially ones as big and fancy as the Wright's housewarming. However, when there's an actual reason to go to them, I figure they're not too bad. He's here for the job, isn't he?
Be careful with Shirley, alright?
Besides, like it or not, it's all part of the job. I'm here on a mission. Man on a mission! One that has the name Luke Wright plastered all over it. You'd think the man would want to remain inconspicuous after his name was linked to several high-profile crimes across Luxmont. Oh, what did Luke do? Maybe we'll actually find out in this playthrough. Granted, most of it have gone cold over the years, having stagnated without any lead or evidence, but that still doesn't make him any less suspect. Yet here he is, throwing a party in his own backyard. Although, having observed the man this past year, I'm not even shocked. He craves it, the damn spotlight. Constantly yearns for attention like a neglected puppy. It doesn't take a genius to figure out why he's nowhere to be found in his own party, but that's not the problem here. What pisses me off is how far his reach extends, how close he has creeped into the lives of the people I care about. Again, like a stubborn itch you can't be rid of. First, Professor Clark. Yeah, that's what I want to know as well. What did Luke do to poor Professor Clark? Then there's Isabella. Well, I mean, didn't really do anything to Isabella. Oh, maybe he was the one that hit Isabella with the car. Oh, is that what happened? I also spotted Z-Man here a while ago, and now there's also Rebecca. Apparently.
Ashton?
Becca? What are you doing here?
I was invited.
Really? I had no idea you were friends with the host.
That explains things, and makes this difficult all the same. As if getting a contact among the staff to sneak a name into the guest list isn't hard enough. The guy almost ditched me last night, and might have placed another set back on my investigations, if it wasn't for my generous tip. Then, here comes Rebecca, another person to mind.
Well, it's my parents, actually. But that's beside the point. What are you doing here? You hate parties.
We do.
I still do. I'm just here on behalf of a friend.
Bullshit. Unnecessary lie. I can't bring my own friends into this any further than what they've found themselves in. Because if Luke Wright so much as harms a hair on either Zach or Rebecca's heads, they'll be held to pay. Yeah, his story doesn't begin from the start. Apparently it begins, oh gosh, I don't even know what day it is right now. Oh gosh. Yeah, I guess it just starts straight from the housewarming party, which Rebecca's one pretty much started from the start, but Ash's doesn't. Oh, so maybe this would take us all the way down. He might have already done so with Isabella, and I wasn't able to do a single thing to keep her safe. Does that imply that Luke hit Isabella with a car? It's not confirmed yet, but just this text alone makes me think that. I can't let the same mistake happen. I doubt he would attempt anything in front of other people though. It would tarnish his glorious reputation, and he values appearances more than anything. That doesn't necessarily mean he isn't capable of it. More than, in fact, and on the off chance he does something, I wouldn't be responsible for my actions. Ka-chang! Hello, how are you doing? Are you also streaming? You doing a bit of Genshin or Street Fighter? I'd love to see it.
That's rare. Do you have someone with you then?
Nope, just me. I won't be staying long.
I think we'll be staying a long time. It'll be dark by the time.
Well, if that's the case, maybe you and I can...
For Zach's and Rebecca's sakes, however, I really hope this will be another housewarming. God damn it, pay attention to Rebecca! She's trying to ask you as a date. Even though something tells me it's anything but. Call it a detective's intuition or whatever. When Luke Wright's involved, nothing good has ever come out of it. I can't let my guard down here. Even more so when a familiar car slows to a stop and out comes...
Chief?
Oh, yep, it's that asshole, Chief Inspector Lee. My presence here might be odd at best, but I have an excuse. One that this man handed to me himself a year ago, along with a heavy dose of flattery for the newly promoted Detective Inspector. Oh, he's the one that promoted us? Okay. Not today, but tomorrow you will? Awesome! Let me know what time. Maybe I can catch it. Can't exactly say the same for my good old boss, can I? Although to see him here, chatting it up with Luxborn's rich and famous isn't such a big surprise in itself. No disrespect meant, but the guy's obviously a social climber. What is surprising is the fact that he seems all too eager to mingle with a person of interest's wife. Yeah, he has a thing for Hannah, doesn't he? He goes straight for her. Just what the hell is he doing here?
Ashton, what's...
Sorry, Becca. I need to... There's something I need to check for a bit. I'll talk to you later. Do you have a ride home?
No, I had to take a cab here. My car wouldn't start this afternoon.
Aw.
But what about...
What the shit is going on here?
I told you to get that old thing checked before, didn't I? You can head back with me after this. Anyway, I gotta go. See ya. Be careful, okay?
Hey, be careful! About what exact...
God damn it. Well, okay, I guess this is his excuse for blowing Becca off, though. I don't want to draw attention to myself either. At least, not until he's given me proper reason to spoil his little party.
Thank you for the invite, Anna. Husband still missing, I see.
I should be saying the same of your darling Rochelle, Lee. The doctors again?
Pregnancy. For now, the best I can do is wait and remain inconspicuous, especially with Chief here, whose motives are dubious at best. If it means having to pretend I don't know Zach and Becca, or forcing myself to rub elbows with people I barely know, let alone like, then so be it. I can't involve anyone. Wow, what a lone wolf! God damn, this guy, just, wow. Wandering is out of the question as well. Whoa! Alright, hello Ali, how you doing? Great to see you, mate. Oh boy, you know, with the whole lines of this, it kind of looks like Hannah and Lee are about to rumble. Great to see you, mate. Great to see you. Oh, I love this song. I feel like this is a great workout mix. If anyone's seen JoJo, that is. Wandering is out of the question as well, when there are guards and civvies stationed here and there. Sure, getting past them is something I could do with ease, but I'd rather not right now, when I'm one of the few snooping and roaming about. It'd be best to try and do so once there's a crowd of people. And if the interior designer's drunken claims are to be believed...
Yes, well, What about Luke? Should we file a missing persons report now, or do you want to wait 24 hours?
He's around.
You know, I can tell if someone's bluffing.
Oh, I'm doing great, Ali. Yeah, my day's been pretty busy, but it's been alright, It'll all come down to how well I'll play my cards tonight. With a good hand, this party is going to give me the breakthrough I need to crack Luke right, or something to prove my suspicions wrong. Maybe find out what kind of game my boss is also playing. I feel like Ash's boss Lee is pretty dirty in himself. As for what Luke done, I guess the more we play, the more we'll find out. Ah, dang, that's too bad, mate. You gotta study, mate, you gotta study. I've had an inkling before, a few hunches tempered down by how much of a bumbling fool the man appears. But one does not simply deal with the rights and get invited to a party they host without wanting anything from either of the two. Or it's the other way around. So, with a last wary glance at the two, I head into the ballroom. I just hope this will not complicate things further. Shit. Ah, man. Woo. Oh, thanks, Ali. Dirty, huh? Yeah, really dirty. I feel like it is, but what's with that smug look? I mean, he might want to get his hands dirty with Hana, though. By the time the party's in full swing, night has fallen. Yet, there still isn't a Luke Wright in sight. The man can be quite ostentatious, but this, frankly, I'm impressed. I don't even know how many hors d'oeuvres I've already stuffed my face with. Ooh, look at those deviled eggs! Oh my god, that looks great. Actually, I wouldn't mind some. One too many, probably. The servers are already giving me the stink eye every time I saunter over the buffet table. It's free food! Food's supposed to be eaten! Come on. Blame your employer, not me. He's the one who has the guts to show up late. Besides, most of the guests' idle talk is concentrated in this area, despite standing under the same roof with the very people they're whispering about. Some just couldn't resist. I might as well keep an ear out for any useful info.
Is Suarez still fixing that tech problem? Tech problem?
It's been 3 years. Sooner or later, the Blighter will put 2 and 2 together.
He might have already.
What tech problem? If the red tape I'm being slammed with these past few months suggests anything, that or someone has been pulling the strings. I wouldn't be shocked. This case would not have gone this long if Scumbag didn't have a mule of some kind in the force.
Shush you, we all know Suarez just wants an out.
I knew he was bad news the day the merger with Evans Incorporated happened.
Who's Suarez?
Glad I did not have to deal with that. But keep it down, someone might hear. The wife especially.
This kind of negligence has always been an advantage, but sometimes I wish I could be smashed drunk while doing this. Having sharp ears also means you get to hear the most unsavory things. Oh, he's got sharp ears? Alright. Who cheated on who this week? One person's motive for bashing someone's skull against the wall, or a father's excuse for burning his own daughter alive? That sort of stuff. After a few years, it gets tiring. You get desensitized to it. Yeah, I can imagine. Holy shit. Poor Ash, actually. But humans could also be downright awful. Sometimes there simply isn't enough brain bleach in the world. Sadly, the wine is a no-go tonight, and mostly for show. I'm up for another drive later, for one, and I definitely want to be sober in case anything comes up. In case, like, Luke comes up. And something always comes up in assignments like this. The detective inspector dying of cardiac arrest, for example. Because I can feel the moment my heart grinds to a halt, the second I shift my eyes to a corner of the ballroom.
Hana Wright.
Some will say I'm acting a touch paranoid, and maybe I am. This is a party, and she's the hostess. It goes to say that she'd take time to mingle with her guests. But Hannah, I'm not British. Hana Wright, nay, is that right? Evans isn't without her fair share of accolades. Ah, okay, right, we're using her maiden name. At least to the public, she doesn't seem like it. Unlike her husband, she's the one with the business sense, not to mention the impressive track record needed to manage a company. I honestly thought it said rack, but, I mean, she does have... I guess we both have really good racks right now. or effectively hide whatever irregularity there might be. She's clean as far as my agents and I have found, but it doesn't rule out a possible involvement with whatever her husband's up to. No, I think Hannah's in the dark with whatever Luke's up to. Hell, Luke Wright came out clean in the previous reports until I bothered to take a deeper look into it. What I found may not be sufficient to bring anyone to trial yet, but it's enough to nurture suspicion. This may be a bit of an overreaction, but no one lasts long in my line of work by being careless.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
Oh, we heard this?
Didn't realize the housewarming was going to be this fancy. I would have gone with a nice dress if I knew.
Sorry, just had a quick drink. Nothing to be worried about them. She's probably even more careful with appearances than her own husband, having grown up with the spotlight focused on her. Yet, even knowing that, the anxiety stays, has been here since the party started. I've brushed it off earlier. Who wouldn't feel edgy, right? I've gone undercover in a party hosted by the very person I'm investigating. That, in itself, is risky, and has plenty of rooms for error. I don't think they need an A here. I've struck that out. I don't think they need it. Usually, though, the tension passes around the first half hour or so. I've been trained to remain composed in situations like this. However, with each second I spend here, it only grows heavier and seeks to overwhelm. An odd feeling that someone is watching me instead. It has been like this since last week. Do you hear whispers? Yeah, I hear whispers right now. Yeah, I can definitely hear whispers. Can you guys hear that? But I should already be used to this. People would be looking at me no matter how small or big of a blip I am on their radar. That's what they need. That's what they do in these things. But when the feeling of eyes burning into my back lingers longer than necessary, I've been looking around every now and then to catch the culprit. No luck. Yeah, because it's the ghost that's looking at ya. And despite my efforts to push the sensation as far down as I could, tiny pinpricks continued to sting the back of my head, and the ghost of a cold touch creeps up my limbs. Oh, you have no idea. You can't hear it? Oh man, maybe it's just me. What's going on with my headphones? Why do I hear whispers? Until my gaze switches back to Rebecca and Hannah Wright. She stands there, dark-haired and dirty, sticking out like a sore thumb. Oh wow, so we saw this too? Us, as Ash, we saw the ghost and we still don't believe Rebecca. Oh my god, damn it, Ash, you dumb asshole. Ugh. Even so, no one seems to notice. Although she's looking away from me, her mere existence here strikes, disturbs. A sense of tunnel vision binds where I stand, stock still, and gape at her, like my life depends on making sure she stays where she is. I feel trapped in her presence until another guest bumps into me, yanking me out of my stupor. Only then do I realize that I've been holding my breath. Oh boy. You hear it? Yeah, oh man. Maybe it's because I'm playing the game right now and my voice isn't overshadowing what I can hear usually. But yeah. Whew. Before I could figure out what happened, she's gone. A quick scan of the room yields no sign of her. The party continues as if nothing is amiss. I'm not really one to judge, but I'm sure someone like that would not have been allowed in a fancy thing like this. What has the security been doing? Are they really that incompetent for someone so distinct to easily get in without notice? There should have been an outcry by now, particularly from the host. She's been standing almost an arm's length away from the woman, and yet she simply continues her talk with Rebecca. Yeah, because we're the only ones that can see it, because we're the only ones that saw the letter.
Oh, the professor! And your little Becky!
My parents couldn't make it since they're in Scotland right now. And Mom says hi, by the way.
Hi. Is there something in the food then? That I'm starting to see things. It couldn't have been the wine though. I'm every bit as sober as when I first stepped out off my car. The hors d'oeuvres? But why would anyone want to do that? Why would Luke Wright want to do that? He didn't. Don't worry, it's a real ghost. He's fishy, but I couldn't see why he'd ever think it'd be a good idea to lace the food he'd serve in his party with someone like Chief Lee on his guest list to boot. Oh my god, we're so paranoid. He has been linked to narcotics trade. Yep. Oh, okay. So Luke deals in drugs. Alright. So he's a drug dealer. Or maybe he's the head honcho. However, that kind of tactic is below him, that much I could tell. Unless there's a mass murder waiting to happen here tonight, which I highly doubt. So...
What the fuck was that?
But there's no time to look deeper into this, even if I want to. Not when a telling silence comes upon the room and everybody's attention to the main doors of the ballroom.
About damn time.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Enjoying the party? I hope I'm not too late in welcoming you all to the right mansion.
I've been tailing this guy for a while now. Before that, I heard stories from previous officers who tackled this case, none of which are pleasant. Mind, I'm not counting the incident with Professor Clark yet. Pleasant is glossing over the gravity of it. While Wright's good at covering whatever shady stuff he's doing, he's shown to be a really rotten guy. At least, that's the case when he thinks none of his peers are around to judge him. I've lost track of how many counts of verbal abuse and harassment cases the guy could be pinned with. Standing in the same room as him doesn't make me want to punch him any less. Actually, the urge is stronger. But protocols, my case, first and foremost. My own opinion of the man shouldn't get ahead of my purpose here. If I want to put him in his place, it should be in a court, with all proper charges filed against him. And I'll only be able to do that once I gather enough evidence to pin this bastard down.
Welcome, one and all, to our humble abode. Tonight, if you have yet to find yourself in your roles, you are all ladies and lords of the court of your king and queen, if you would excuse my presumptuousness. So, enjoy the feast that has been laid out for your senses, as we only allowed the best to be served.
Man, look at his name. His name's Scumbag. It's not even Luke, even though we know his name.
Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone!
Suppressing my annoyance, I prepare to step away from the crowd. Amidst the cheers and claps, now is as good a time as to move. Sorry. Try to find that something the McCulloch woman talked about. We talked to Marianne, did we? Oh. In the first place, I have no plans to actually shake hands with the slime ball himself. A fake smile is plastered on my face while I pretend to listen to one of the other guests gossiping about him, all while slowly inching out of the ballroom. Unfortunately, before I could get any further...
Are you feeling ill, Rochelle?
Oh, this.
Perhaps you need to sit down and...
Rich people only have two ways to resolve their mess. Either they quietly deal with it behind closed doors, or they create an even greater problem out of it, and it just blows up in everybody's faces one way or another. Fun.
No! Shut it, you monster! I ain't talking to you! I'm talking to this scumbag over here! You bloody bastard standing there with your smarmy smile!
So Ash doesn't know this woman, so that's why it's Crazy Woman instead of Rochelle. Ah, I love it. Not even a few seconds in, and this is already proving itself to be a big public spectacle. Why spend money on a television to buy daytime soap operas? You could just go to one of these parties and see the action unfold in real life. You get free food too! I mean, yeah, I guess that's a good way of positively spinning it, I guess. Yeah, in the bar, Marianne was drunk. Oh, you're right, Ruth! Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah, Marianne tipped us off. Oh, man. Yeah, good on you for remembering that. Man, I completely spaced on that. Really, if I were an actual guest, I'd just take this as some sordid form of amusement.
Watch your tongue! You're on thin ice, Rochelle. Where's your husband? Who even invited you?
But I'm not a guest who's here for a good time. I need to focus on him, even through this whole sorry tale. So I wait, I listen, I observe. Interesting, isn't it though? That's the Chief Inspector's wife. Oh, he knows. Oh, then why did it say crazy woman? Oh, I guess she is a crazy woman, but what can you do? October 29th, Saturday. The morning after starts off quiet. Even the whole of Salem Wells residences seem unusually still. The open hallway when I step out is devoid of tenants, no sound coming from the other units either. It's almost as if something's brewing on the horizon. A peaceful night's sleep still does wonders for the mood though. I can't even remember the last time I've slept without anything urgent interrupting. Oh yeah, because we slept over at Rebecca's place. She gave us the couch. That's why we're here. Ah, well, it's a nice break from all the bad news lately. If it wasn't for the insistent buzzing in my pocket waking me up, I'd sleep in. The ringing has stopped before I could move somewhere private, but sleep has also been effectively kicked out of my system by then. Pity, I could use a little more rest until I have to face the other storm. Of course, I owe Rebecca an explanation. It doesn't matter if it's the whole truth or another hastily spun tale, although I haven't really figured out how to go about this yet. Unlike Zach and Isabella, who don't usually ask questions and are content with what little I could share, Rebecca's rather quick on the trigger. It will have to be set aside for later, though. Oh my god. Wow, this is our ringtone? The chief's name stares back at me, almost as if it's mocking me. Sad. It would have been nice to just chill after last night, or maybe half listen to the news. Sure, it's the same thing we've been hearing lately. Still beats standing outside in chilly Luxmore morning on the phone with my boss. Sighing, I answer it, if only to get this over with.
Frey, where are you right now?
Now that's a tone I didn't expect from him at this hour. Just thinking how this will go already gives me a headache. Immediately, I reach up and pinch the bridge of my nose to stave it off.
This is why I won't ever drink myself senseless.
What was that?
Nothing, Chief. A pleasant morning to you too.
He's probably calling to rag on me or complain about his wife, which is really none of my business unless it affects my case. It seems like the usual rich man cheats on wife deal. Although, I would have followed up on it if it was someone else's wife. But figuring it's the chief's, hey, I trust him to come clean if the missus is related to the Wright's shady dealings. This is why I left before they even hauled the woman out last night. I'm not going to go around investigating cheating husbands and wives when it's probably just that. Chief appears to have a different idea in mind, though.
There's nothing pleasant in the morning. Anyway, where are you? I told you millions of times before to keep your lines open.
We never do. He did, and not only him. Zach, Rebecca, Isabella, all of them have said the same thing numerous times in the past. But I was undercover last night. A phone call is the last thing I want to happen when there are other things I need to focus on at the time. Besides, we have radios and work-issued phones. Why isn't he using those channels if this is urgent?
Just woke up, sir. As awesome as it is to hear your voice this morning, it really is early. If you could give me a few minutes just to wake myself up, that'd be swell.
No need for that. This won't take long.
Is something wrong? Am I needed at the precinct ASAP?
Oh no, everything's good over there. Just... Look, kid. Frey. Don't take this personally, alright? You're off the Luxbourne firm case. Starting today.
What? Well, I did not expect to hear that either. This must be some kind of cosmic joke. I allow some awkward seconds to pass. Chief must be pulling another one of his awful pranks. I don't think it's a prank. Out of his bad mood or a severe hangover, maybe. Everyone knows that when given the chance, he exercises no control with his drinking. If it wasn't for his wife causing a stir, he'd probably be trashed an hour in at the party. He likely drank more after they threw her out of the ballroom. Besides, his sense of humor has never been good. It's just infuriating most of the time. But when he doesn't follow it up, if I sound a tiny bit frustrated speaking to my own superior, I'm not the one to blame.
Wait, no. What? Are you kidding, Chief? Is this one of your practical jokes again? The Temps won't say anything about it, but
It's not that. They're orders. From the higher-ups.
Oh, it goes further. The higher-ups, yes, my favorite word. Since when did the higher-ups ever cared about what the Criminal Investigation Department did? As far as I could tell, they don't give a hoot if CID... What? What's CID? Is filled with cold cases, as long as we keep the spending low. C... Investigation Department. What's the C then? Crime Investigative Departments? Maybe? When I need to view those old cases though, they're locked away in the archives. You're gonna have to check up with the higher-ups. I need access to these reports. See if the higher-ups would allow it. Every step, every move in this case. There isn't one that hasn't been gated by some authority. If it's not the chief, it's the commissioner, or so they always tell me. It makes one wonder why they even bothered assigning it to anyone. Not a single one of them has done anything to help move the case. And they wonder why it has taken this long for even a hint of progress to show.
you can't just drop this on me. You can't just take me off like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I can. And I'm sorry, Ashton.
Fuck.
You're a good detective. One of the best I've seen in years, but
3 years, Chief. 3 years!
3 years since that anonymous tech leak blew up. What anonymous tech leak? Since Luke Wright's name was openly linked to several nasty dealings within Luxborn's corporate world, some of them involving deaths. 3 years, and I was the only one who made it this far, made much progress that officers with more experience weren't able to do when they handled this case. Okay. Just within a year, and with barely any help from the damn brass at that, of course I'll be pissed.
Do you know what would have happened if I didn't work my ass off on this thing? If I didn't dedicate a whole year of my time on it? It would have gone cold, like every fucking case Luke Wright has been linked to. I saved this from getting thrown into the archives, sir. I'm getting close. If you could just...
I'm fully aware of what you've done, Frey. But the Commissioner hasn't been happy with your progress.
Commissioner!
Still too slow by their standards.
Unbelievable.
Too slow? Well, what about those reports I filed? I've documented every freaking thing for them. I've given you every important lead I can gather.
Because you're getting close.
Isn't that enough?
They need results, not a bunch of research papers. Not one baseless assumption after another. Concrete proof, Frey. I'm really sorry. They've already made a decision. They're going to pass this on to someone who's been in the Force longer. Someone who has more experience.
Someone corrupt?
Someone who has more experience?
I meant nothing by it, but you're still too young to work on a case this big.
Chief, I've already done more than what those old farts ever did behind their desks. All of it, within just a year of being assigned to this.
Watch your language, Frey. Those are your superiors,
I'm not some damn rookie fresh out of training. I'm as qualified as they are.
You tell them. Futile. I know it is. They'd never say it within my earshot, but from the very minute I stepped into their precinct, a lot of them had underestimated me. From the stairs alone to the assignments I get. To them, I'm still just a kid. Too young, too green, too inexperienced. And once they pull that card on me, every argument I have gets thrown out the window. No matter how logical it is, how much I've accomplished, what the records say, or the amount of work I've put in every investigation they've thrown my way.
We're all aware of your skills, kid. You wouldn't have that badge and rank if you weren't good enough. However, this case is just not for you. Too high profile, too risky to put a good officer like you in harm's way.
Can he even hear himself? That reasoning is odd in itself. No one joins this line of work without knowing the dangers of it.
Don't I get a second chance? You said it yourself. I'm a good detective. It'll just be a matter of time before we can close this.
It doesn't matter what I think, Frey. You're off the case, and that's final. I expect all related files and documents on my desk by Monday morning.
Fuck!
And don't even try to go touch anything. I know how hard-headed and determined you are.
Chief, please. A few more weeks. I'll have the proper evidence left on your desk by then. I swear it won't take longer than that.
Fred, it's too late, boy. I've already informed the other officers.
No!
You aren't to be allowed access until you've been given a new assignment. Hell, just keep out of the precinct, Frey. Take the weekend off.
Seriously, Chief, is this about last night? If this is about me being at that party, I have a good reason for...
You were at the party.
Uh-oh. It makes me pause. His wary tone, the sudden careful note in his voice. Slowly, a frown forms in my face, my eyebrows knitting together in confusion. Much as I hate to say this about my own boss, there's also suspicion in it. Hard not to think of it that way, seeing how he acted around Hannah right last night. Is he worried? Why should he be? Anyone was invited. I didn't doubt for a second why he received an invite, even if his presence was questionable. There's something wrong, and I've unintentionally walked in onto it. All I have is a sneaking suspicion, but when one looks at this from a different angle, put everything together. Why the hell I've been taken off the case might be for the same reason he was there in the first place. Yeah, the chief is dirty. Fucking Lee. Detective seems like an interesting job. I feel like it's a lot more to that in real life, though. I feel like in real life it'll be a lot more boring. Fuck.
Yes, Chief, I was. For a good reason. What were you doing there? I know we don't have a strict rule against attending functions, but that was...
He coughs, and it almost sounds like he's choking on his own excuses, lies. I don't want to accuse him of anything yet. He's someone I've respected since I joined LPD. Sorry, not LA. We're not in LA. Even with his bizarre sense of humor and tendency to procrastinate. Luxbourne Police Department. LPD. Got it. He's obviously competent enough to get the job done. He wouldn't be Chief Inspector of Luxbourne Police if he wasn't. He wouldn't last years in service without some track record backing him. Unless that too is a fluke. And what's backing him is not something, but someone. Oh shit. Fucking hell. Fucking shit.
Chief Harvey, about last night with the...
Why does it matter, Frey? This isn't about that.
Why does it matter? Why does it matter? I'll recite the whole damn oath we've taken upon being sworn into service if I can, but at this point, it seems too late to remind him of that. He has probably already moved from serving and protecting people to serving and protecting his own interests. Damn it! I've suspected the upper brass of this, even the lower ranked subordinates in the force, but from my own boss? Shit. No wonder that leak didn't lead anywhere. Someone closer might have been pulling the strings. I might have been set up to fail long before the fucking case has been assigned to me. But I don't want to just give this up. I don't want to believe I've wasted an entire year for this. I don't want this to be the kind of news to tell Professor Clark after all those promises I've given the man. I don't want this to end here, if this might still have a connection with what happened to Isabella like I first assumed. Chasing a real person is easier than chasing those supernatural things, and I hope to God I'm right on this one. Oh, it's because, yeah, he doesn't believe in the supernatural because he can't arrest it. He needs something tangible. That's why he's acting like that.
I just want to know, sir, at the party, with Luke and Hannah Wright, you were...
Monday, Detective Inspector. First thing in the morning. Every copy of the files you have, I want to see all on my table, understood?
Don't give it to him.
This isn't...
Frey, am I understood?
What else can I do other than smile and nod? With my own superior expecting an answer, using that tone, brushing my questions off as easy as disregarding a dead body.
Yes.
Oh, discarding, sorry.
Yes, sir.
He cuts the line as soon as the words are out. You were off the case, Frey, just like that. Funny why this still caught me off guard. I've discovered years ago how different the actual thing is, how far from reality everything I've believed in as a dreamy-eyed kid. There are no high-speed pursuits every day, no thrilling gunfights or exciting cases every step of the way, only paperwork, lots of red tape, and dealing with the politics and bureaucracy. Yeah. Ooh. I've set out to change things, hoping it'll make things better for the people I care about. It ended up changing me instead. Serves me right for being too idealistic, I guess. That one seems to bite back at me more often than not lately, if what happened at the hospital is meant to convey anything. This is probably the universe telling me that it's better to remain the skeptic I really am. Now here I am, standing useless, can't even do anything but grit my teeth and kick the wall. The bastard didn't even acknowledge my response.
What did the poor wall ever do to you?
It figures Rebecca would be the one to find me in this embarrassing state. Honestly, I don't like it when she sees me like this, which seems to happen a lot regardless of what I want.
Rebecca, now's not a good time.
The concern I expect from her when I turn isn't there, however. Instead, she just looks, well, the storm I left brewing last night is right on her face, ready to be unleashed.
When is it ever a good time for you? You're always so busy with everything now.
Oh man, yeah, we didn't get this scene as Rebecca, or Becca. We're only getting this scene with Ash though, odd.
Now I find you here, sneaking out without even bothering with a proper goodbye. Not even a word. Really, I'm starting to think you're just keeping me around for my couch and my cooking.
Becca, it's not what you're thinking. I wasn't planning on sneaking out. I was going to say goodbye. I just had to take this call. Although I'm not gonna lie, couch is great. 10 out of 10, would sleep again.
Stop it with the jokes, Ashton. I'm not in the mood.
I am. Her bitterness is not lost on me, but at this point, our friendship in our lives, how does she still expect me to answer that? What am I supposed to tell her now?
Are you still mad about last night?
Yep. She merely raises an eyebrow at me, which to be honest, is all the response I need. Seeing her like this makes me believe those things Z-Man say, the part where Rebecca scares him, sometimes. I've certainly seen this more than once already, but the familiarity of it doesn't really take away from the downhill turn this conversation is starting to take. Only an awkward cough serves as a way to stall.
Okay, of course you're still mad.
Yep,
But whatever happened last night, I really am sorry. I'll apologize as many times as you want. If you want, I'd even kneel or something.
Ashton, an apology is nice and all, but that's not what I wanted to hear from you today.
Alright, fine, okay. Where do you want to start?
Oh, I don't know. I've honestly lost track of it by your third trip to the buffet table.
I wasn't... The drive up there took a bit. Can you blame me if I wanted to grab some appetizers?
Oh, come on, Ash! For the whole evening? For the whole party? Please don't tell me that's all you did, because I've never known you as someone who pigs out. You even took great lengths to avoid me. Should I also mention how you ignored Zach? Sometimes I get the feeling you don't want to be seen with us in public. Some friendship, huh?
You know it's not like that. It's never going to be like that, Becca.
I'll ask this again. Just what were you up to during the party? What were you doing that you couldn't even take 2 seconds to make time for your friends?
I know. I couldn't even look her in the eye. It wasn't that I wanted to avoid them. I did it to keep Zach safe, to keep Rebecca safe. Just in case. Client or family friend, it was still a party hosted by a person of interest, by a man accused years ago of murdering a person's wife to get what he wanted. Oh, is that what Luke did? Oh shit. But then Chief showed up, Hannah Wright happened, and Luke Wright just can't be bothered to die peacefully somewhere. All of a sudden, none of my original reasons mattered. If I was found out right then and there, hell, if Zach's and Rebecca's connection with me was found out, who knows what might have happened. But Rebecca doesn't understand that. Doesn't understand what I can and can't say to keep them from harm. It's all in her eyes, in the tight line of her lips and her furrowed brows. The hurt. This day is just off to a wonderful start. First my case, now Becca. How do I even go about this? Should we stretch the truth a little? Or insist it's confidential? Oh god, either way, this is just gonna make Rebecca mad. So your choices are basically number 1, lie. Number 2, don't tell a shit. Oh man. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Alright, well, the only bad relationship we have right now is with Zach. But I don't know, it's up to you guys. If you want us to lie to Rebecca, type in number 1. If you want us to just keep silent and not tell her anything, number 2. Okay, we've got a number 2 and a number 1. Alright, well, I guess it's a 50-50 right now. So if anybody else wants to do it, then I'll give 5 more seconds. Otherwise, I'll just pick in random. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, random it is. I'm really bad at... Alright, what did I pick? Obviously, I couldn't just say, hey Becca, you know the rights? They're expected to be ringleaders of a crime syndicate and shit like that. What did we choose anyway? Oh no, we got a minus. Protocol or otherwise, there are so many things I'm not allowed to tell others. Even if I am able to share information with civilians, knowing anything could very well put them in danger. It's why I keep it vague, obscure the facts, or when push comes to shove, stretch the truth and lie through my teeth. Oh gosh, we told the lie. It's a necessity I've grown to deal with. It has already become a part of me, no matter how much I loathe doing it.
I mentioned it, didn't I? I was there on behalf of someone else. I was on business, Becca. I wasn't there to have a good time.
She doesn't look convinced at all. Oh god, she's angry. Although she's the very picture of someone who's at least willing to listen, her glare effectively takes a good 20 of my current years. I feel like a kid again, being reprimanded by my junior high teacher for sleeping in class. But getting away with that is easier than with this one. It's the thing with someone you've been friends with for so long. They're the ones who know you inside out. Good grades wouldn't be enough for Rebecca to let this whole thing slide.
You couldn't even spare a single second to mingle.
I'm sorry, Rebecca!
What was I supposed to say? Hi, fancy meeting you here. Would you like to dance? By the way, those appetizers were really good. You should try some.
Yes, you should have said that.
I've got a boss guy breathing down my neck. I don't exactly have the luxury of doing as I please.
This much is true, my reasons for being at the party too. However, Chief's presence last night made a lot of things difficult. Approaching them was out of the question, when there was someone watching, a person who knew the reason why I was there. It turned out to be a good call on my part, but for someone who's already angry beyond reason, everything will only sound like an excuse.
Cut the shite. I saw you stuffing your face with the deviled eggs, while your own boss is off on the other side of the room. You didn't even exchange a word or a glance with him either. In fact, I think you're also avoiding the man.
Yep.
Just say you don't want to talk about it instead of lying to my face.
I'm sorry! I do feel guilty, still. We've already been down this road. This is something I've done so repeatedly in the past. Something she's heard from me more times than all of my fingers could count. Something I'll just have to get over with at this moment.
I'm sorry, you know that, Becca. I really, really am. I wouldn't do this shit if I didn't have a good reason to.
And you know that I don't like you lying to me!
I know! Oh my god, oh, we picked the lie.
If you can't tell the truth, just don't say anything and shut your gob! I swear, Ashton Frey, you are just so dense!
We are.
I'm so angry. I can't even bear to look at you right now because I swear I'll knock you right off your block. I mean, what good reason could you have to act like an antisocial asshole?
She's
The only
right.
time you did talk to me was to spout some vague nonsense about Luke. What was that all about? Were you somehow expecting me to just accept everything as it is?
You really shouldn't go near that man, Becca.
Why? Because you don't trust him? I wonder if you actually trust anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from the three of us, Zach, Isabella, and myself, do you even have any other friends? If you're perfectly fine with that, then go ahead. No one is stopping you. But don't expect me to share the same views. I can have a life of my own. Friends that I don't necessarily share with you. I'm an adult, Ashton. And I can make my own bloody decisions. I sure as hell can choose the people I want to let into my life.
Of course, she's allowed to do as she pleases. I never mentioned she couldn't. Us growing up together doesn't mean it always has to be just the two of us. It's a dumb idea to believe in, when nothing ever remains constant. Things will inevitably change through the years. She'll make friends with people outside of our little circle. I'm just as free to form relationships with other people. But why, of all people, did it have to be him? Why does it have to be Luke Wright? That guy's nothing but trouble. How can she defend a guy like that? She's already calling him Luke, for Pete's sake.
I trust Zach, I trust Isabella, and I trust you, Rebecca. So why can't you trust me on this? You need to stay away from that man, because he's... I really wish I could tell you.
What was that saying Isabella mentioned before? A liar is a brother of a thief. People who look at me now probably say I'm a hair's breadth away from being a criminal. Z-Man said something like that once, a few years into our friendship. I laughed it off back then, but now, they're probably right. Little by little, I'm becoming the very kind of person I hate. How ironic. The silence afterwards brings an even heavier air between us. Something that Rebecca, thankfully, doesn't allow to linger more than necessary.
I suppose you have to go now, huh?
The situation's already awkward as it is. Dragging this out will only make it more, difficult? Messed up? As if it isn't already.
Back to your case again?
I don't really have to. I have no case. As far as the job I'm concerned, I have the weekend off until I have to report to Chief on Monday. Although I don't want to just throw in the towel on this. Orders are orders. This isn't like the movies. I don't get to say, fuck off, throw my gun and badge at him, become some vigilante, save the day, and get my job back. I'd rather get my ass thrown in jail than do any of that. But it's also not in my nature to sit still and do nothing. It'll drive me crazy if I just idle about. Besides, there's someone who has to know about this whole Luke Wright thing.
Yeah, I need to go talk to Professor Clark. And there's something else I need to look into.
The other matter she mentioned last night specifically. The same stuff Zachary has also been trying to tell me. Things even the news has been blasting out to the general populace lately. Evening, afternoon, morning, all deaths with the same modus, blamed on a single serial killer. Or Is it still the case?
Found dead in the early hours of the morning today. The fire was contained within the room and no other tenants were harmed, according to Luxbourne Police.
I do like the muffled voice. We're grasping at straws as far as these murders are concerned. In the first place, I'm not even the one heading this investigation, yet look at me, treating it as if it's another high-profile case on my shoulder. How sad is that? Although all three of my friends have mentioned seeing something strange, I don't want to go into that line of thinking for now. Not yet. Not until I've exhausted every logical argument I could throw at it. To be honest though, I don't know how to take all of this anymore. But looking at the closed door of Isabella's apartment, I couldn't bring myself not to act. And after Rebecca's claims last night, if another person important to me ends up in the hospital because I didn't listen, there wouldn't be enough regret in the world. Fuck, I almost came close to losing Isabella.
Well, glad to hear you're talking to someone, at least. Even if it's not me. You sure you're not bothering the professor or anything? Don't you be a cheeky brat now. I'm sure he's a very busy man. You pointed that out yourself last night.
Becca, even if he is, you know he'll make time for me. I'm his favorite after all, aren't I?
An attempt to keep things light again. Bad move, apparently. All I get in response is that a roll of the eyes and the door being slammed shut in my face.
I probably deserve that.
Yeah. We'll just have to fix this some other time. By then, her temper's sure to have cooled off significantly. Hopefully. For now, I can't laze around. Gotta attend to things that matter more. Find Professor Clark, deliver the bad news, and then maybe I'll also drop by Zach's. Check on him, hear what he has to say. He also read that damn letter. Has also been saying odd things about a bunch of photographs. Yeah, because we did see those photographs, those messed up pictures of Hannah. I might as well, while I'm here, playing a paranormal detective, or was it supernatural? I can't remember. Oh, dang! Woo! Hello, Ames. How you doing, Ames? We're just doing a little bit of a visual novel, a horror visual novel. So, welcome everybody, and thanks for tuning in, guys. Hello, Jazza, please. Welcome. All right, let's keep going with this. So, yeah, I hope my voice doesn't dry out. But yes, hello, Retro Franco. Great to see everybody in here. Welcome. I hope you guys have a fresh new pair of panties because, well, maybe not for you guys, but I get scared shitless on this. Whatever. It wouldn't hurt anyone if I tried to get to the bottom of this. If nothing comes out of this, good. Everyone can shut up about their stupid curses and we can finally get back on track with our lives. Or on to more important stuff. Oh, if there is something. It is a double raid. Oh, never had a double raid before. Ah, wow, I feel special.
I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
And so, with a last deep draw of breath, I step out into the morning, setting aside my own problems for now, all while carrying a new set of uncertainties within me. If I'm lucky, Professor Clark has no other obligation today. I know just where to find him. For those of you guys who just tuned in, this is a horror visual novel where we read a spooky letter, and now we and everyone else that have read the letter as well are now haunted. But we have to find out how to lift this curse. So let's go ahead and try it. A moderate crowd has already gathered at the park by the hour I arrive. People walking their dogs, kids playing a game of tag, and a few who are simply content to lay in their blankets with a book in hand. Cheers and laughter, mostly from children and families, lend the place with some kind of a warm atmosphere. I tend to avoid the park precisely because of this. No use reminding myself of the could-haves when it's already over. Mum's doing well with her carer. Dad's also fine the last time I visited, although neither remarried. They're both content with their lives as it is. Oh no, so Ash's parents have divorced. I'm probably the only one still caught up with it, hence my aversion. But all in all, it's still a pleasant sight to see if you're the kind who takes joy in such sights. Professor Clark does, and as expected, I find him enjoying a walk around the place. Moments later, I didn't mention this before, but Professor Clark kind of has that big dad energy, doesn't he? He stops as soon as he sees me, a small grin spreading across his face when I approach, his hand raised in casual greeting.
Not running today, Professor?
P5, I still need to find out if you'll be on Melbourne at the beginning of October. I'll be in PAX. Yeah, I should be. I can't promise anything because I do love to travel. In fact, I'm traveling to Japan again to see family and friends again in August, but I should be back by then.
Ho, no, not today. Just thought I'd enjoy the nice weather before it takes a turn for the norm again. And to what do I owe the pleasure?
The guy certainly looks happy right now. In any case, I almost don't want to break the news to him, but it's better to get this off quick as long as he doesn't as long as he doesn't shoot the messenger. He's not the type, however. Long-held resentment can change a person, even someone as mild-mannered as the professor. Oh no, are we going to tell Professor Andrews that we've been taken off the case and we can't avenge him? Because Luke Wright, this one, has done something terrible to him. You're excited for PAX? Oh man, PAX is expensive!
Maybe we should sit down first.
With a slight gesture of my hand, I lead the two of us to a nearby bench, away from anyone who might want to listen in. Not that there's much to hear, it's just for the sake of his privacy. He's had enough of this city's tattlers 10 years ago. There's definitely no need to feed more fuel to the fire that has already died down years ago. I wait for him to take the empty space beside me before starting. Instead, he spares a moment to give me a once-over, quiet and unblinking during his scrutiny. It reminds me of all those times he has done the same back when I was still his student. I try not to flinch meanwhile. Once he's done, he simply raises a hand, reaching up to correct his glasses. A habit, as I've learned many years ago. He does that once he's found what he's searching for. A nervous tick or an odd stain on one's person. Something to tell him about the one in front of him. The art of keen observation, I learned it from the man. It's very likely that he already has an idea of what this might be about from my appearance and expression alone. Despite this, he allows me to speak first and wordlessly takes the open seat beside me, a smile still on his face as he watches the scene in front of us. Funny how the world simply goes on while we sit here with this shadow looming over us.
I was hoping to talk to you about the case.
Oh no, we're gonna tell him? I suppose I'm just a downer today. As soon as I say those words, a look of concern replaces his cheery expression.
You aren't in trouble, are you?
Oh, we are. For a second, I hesitate, looking at the dirt beneath my shoes. But I manage. Eventually, after a long, ragged draw of breath, I pick up where I've left off, though still fumbling with my words.
Well, I'm in a bit of trouble, if you can call it that.
He quickly raises a questioning brow at that.
But I'm not in danger or anything.
You've said that same excuse a million times before, Detective Inspector.
Actually, we are in danger!
Those circles under your eyes and your slouch tell a different story.
It's nothing like what you're thinking. Don't worry. I was taken off the Luxborn firm case.
I expect anger, frustration, maybe even disappointment. But instead, there he is with the whole anime glasses kind of trope. You know how all this anime characters kind of slight their glasses in adjustment and then there's that little reflecting white ray on it. Love that. But all he gives me is a small sigh of relief.
Is that so? Well, at least you aren't in danger. Liz wouldn't be too happy if she saw you like this right now.
Liz. Aunt Liz. She insisted I call her his late wife. A sweet-tempered woman by so many standards. They were never blessed with kids and contented herself with simply managing their bakery. But she's the closest I had to a mum in the few years I had known her, the professor too. In the absence of my own parents in my life, the two filled the ache the separation left in me.
Believe me, you'll get an earful if you show up looking like that on her doorstep.
How many years has it been since? 9? 10? I can still remember it vividly. Two men, primly dressed, briefcases in hand, and a stern look on each of their faces. They were already frequent visitors to the bakery for a few months, something about the lot being a prime property in downtown Luxborn. Oh, are they trying to buy the bakery? Is that why? I think they were hoping to settle a deal with them, but neither the couple gave in to their demands. Why should they? That quaint little shop was a dream for them. Aunt Liz sent me home early that night after a fruitless wait for the professor. The next morning, news of a bakery razed to the ground had spread across the whole city. One casualty. Oh no! Oh, so maybe Luke's goons, those guys with the briefcases, couldn't buy the bakery, so instead they just set it on fire and there was a casualty, and that was Liz! Is that why Professor Andrews is mad at Luke? Oh man, that's That's messed up! Oh, jeez. A few weeks later, the property was sold to Wright Enterprise. A fucking hotel now stands in its place. Of course, an investigation was launched after the incident. The name Luke Wright was briefly at the center of it, but with the lack of any evidence, the case ultimately went cold. Oh no, yeah, there's something fishy going on in the police department there. The professor, the professor hides it well. However, I can tell that he hates that man to this day. He might even blame Luke Wright for every tragedy that happens in the city. He has never blamed me though, when I'm equally as responsible. I knew something's off the moment those men stepped inside the shop. I could have saved her that night. I could have prevented anything from happening to her, called for help or whatever. I didn't. So it continues to eat at me until today, the guilt. The Luxborn firm case would have been our chance at reopening that old case if we could prove Luke Wright of his crimes. Instead, we're back to square one. Yet, all he has for me are words of comfort. To think he can still be this concerned about me after my carelessness, after I've broken another promise a second time. People never cease to amaze me.
You might think that you have failed as an officer. Or maybe you think that you have failed me.
Damn, he knows.
And you know more than anyone. I would love to see that man taken down. If anyone deserves to be tried in high court, it's him. Goodness knows what awful things he's done. But I'm glad nothing's happened to you while you were working on this. That's what's most important. I'd hate to get news like that again.
No probs, Ames. Suddenly, he stops. A thoughtful look flashes in his eyes as he thumbs the wedding band on his ring finger, before he continues another habit. He has never removed it since that day, has never thought once to remarry, even when he managed to continue with his life and return to some semblance of normalcy. It's his way of honoring her, I suppose, when he couldn't bring to justice the man responsible for his loss. Some people are just hard to forget.
It's not like another death. Yours or even his will bring back my wife.
Silence falls between us afterwards. I don't quite know what to say after that, really. Should I apologize? Show some sympathy? Going into this, I should have thought of something other than just breaking the news to him. Oh man, so we finally found out why Professor Andrews is angry at Luke. Oh, that's messed up. As it is, it seems the only thing we can do is feel sorry for each other's misfortunes. In another occasion, under different circumstances, I might have accepted that, but...
And I don't know if I've told you yet, but the one in the news recently, the girl, she's the one you brought with you, yes? From almost a week ago. Miss Santos.
Oh no, yeah, Isabella. Oh god, don't tell me Luke hit her with a car.
I remember her saying she was their real estate agent. I've just heard about it.
It's all connected.
Although, for what it's worth, I'm sorry about what happened to your friend. I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but if this is that man's doing...
Professor, please.
They come out more strained than usual, more than what I'm accustomed to when speaking to the older man. Maybe if things around me hadn't started going beyond my control, the letter, the mansion, the supposed curse behind those, I'd still be quick to blame it all on the bastard too. But as much as I want to keep holding him responsible for it, to add another to his list of sins...
Please don't finish that.
All this time, I've prided myself over being the one to always know. But ghosts and curses? These are things completely out of my depth. Professor Clark's right in some way. Things would be so much easier if we just blamed Luke Wright for all of this. At least finding evidence would be a breeze, and I'd be all too happy to put him in a place he belongs. Although, if he was in any way also complicit to what happened to her, legalities have my hands tied. But maybe that's my fault. I might have missed the ticket to closing the case once and for all last night, if only I had done a better job during the party. Oh man, yeah, the legal system's a mess. But then, the commotion. There was Hannah Wright and Rebecca distracting me from my purpose too. I'd include that gate crasher, or ghost, as well, even though it's only for a moment. So many things have gone wrong last night that...
This isn't a prank! I saw something!
Oh god. This is like the third time we've seen this!
This is why I didn't want to tell you guys!
Oh god, that ghost.
It's not a joke! Will you guys listen to me first?
You should have listened.
I saw something in the house earlier. It stood right in front of me.
And now it's behind Rebecca.
If I hadn't gotten away, that thing might have...
Last night, at the party.
But it's real! What do you think I saw? It happened after, when I was trying to get away.
Oh, this is the
I
guilt.
almost got stuck in the same room with that thing.
We didn't believe her.
We're all in danger. I thought you were my friends. Why don't you believe me?
I'm sorry. That woman.
Why don't we all calm down first? I'm sure Isabella has her reasons too. No need to be hard on her.
God, Zach's so cool. Shit. If that was what Isabella had been warning us about, if it was the same thing Rebecca talked about last night. See, we should have talked to Rebecca about the ghost as well, because obviously, oh, maybe Hannah was the one that saw the ghost. But no, Rebecca did see it as well, didn't she? Or what Zach told me about a few days ago. How many of these instances have I dismissed since reading the letter? How many have I ignored and passed off as some effect of fatigue or lack of sleep? Even last night, a hallucinogen lacing the food is the first thing I considered, purely because that's what my training dictates. It's a mindset I've grown used to. It's the setting the gears in my head automatically takes in a situation like that. Of course, I'm not discounting all of that yet until I have enough information, something to form a conclusive form. Wait, from or form? What did it say? Sorry. Something to form a conclusion from. My bad. Oh, I can't even read today. Oh my god, I'm so bad at that. I'm so sorry. Proof in whatever for it may come. But thinking straight is impossible when all of a sudden, all your beliefs are being upturned in the most violent way possible at that. Jesus, I need a sounding board. I need to talk to someone and Zach's the best person for that.
I have to go.
Already? Wait, Ashton, where are you?
I don't have time to stop and listen to what the professor say as I bolt up and run like a bat out of hell. What, not even a goodbye? Getting back to my car in record time, I don't waste a second to hit the road and drive to Zach's place. If any of us knows anything that what's going on, who can help sort the muddled mess my mind is, it's got to be him. He listened to Isabella. Zach's the kind who prefers to laze around his apartment on a weekend, especially after having a busy week like the last one. The big guy's nowhere in sight when I arrive though. Figures, people don't seem to be where they should be when I need them. Looking around, I find no sign where he might have gone to. He usually leaves a note on his fridge if he's out for the day, just in case someone drops by. What? Who has access to his house apart from us? As there isn't one, he probably just went out for a quick walk. I hope. Maybe he ran out of eggs or something and went out to buy some. He is out of eggs after all. It puts my running mind to rest for a while. Wow, is this our detective intuition just rummaging through his fridge for eggs? He always has to be some. He always has to have some. Be it for an omelette or something he's baking. All I can do is sigh as I close it behind me. I'm still worried for my friend, of course. The messy bed suggests he was out in a hurry. He didn't even bother to fold the sheets. Oh, he left his phone. Is this when he was chased by the ghost? Oh, I think this is when he was chased by the ghost and he had to leave without his phone. His cell phone's being left behind as well. Another odd thing when he has made it a habit to never leave it behind in case a client calls.
At least the locked door points to the fact that it wasn't a forced exit.
I can take comfort in that, but not so much. Anything might happen, and completely letting my guard down is out of the question. In hindsight, I shouldn't have left Rebecca alone either. I have to check up on her later. In the meantime, Zach, but with no other clue where he is and no other way to contact him, I've no choice but to wait. You know what? That reminds me. Isabella's in the hospital right now in a coma, right? So why doesn't the ghost just go over to the hospital where Isabella's in a coma and just choke the living crap out of her? I don't know. I'm no ghost. I don't know how ghosts think. Sure, I could give the room another thorough run through, but I don't think Zach would appreciate me upending his place. Besides, I haven't eaten anything yet. Might as well take this chance to cool down a bit, right? Anything to distract myself so I don't just charge headfirst because of whatever paranoid scheme that comes to mind. Returning to the kitchen, the first thing I see is a bag of chips when I rifle through his cupboards. Yang's potato chips original flavor. what are your favorite flavors, guys? Like, we have Smith's chips here in Australia, and I do like the original, but I can't go wrong with chicken. My mouth's watering now. Oh god. And one of my old friends back in primary school always used to love salt and vinegar every single time, but I remember his hands always had so much oil and so much salt, and it smelled of vinegar every single time, and I was like, I don't know, I like it, but it's kind of like drawn on me now that it's not that good because of what I'm imagining, those fingers and all that oil and all that salt on it and that vinegar smell. Even though it's delicious, maybe it's trauma, I don't know. After muttering a permission of an apology its owner won't hear, I grab it, set myself on his old couch, and turn on the television. This is when Ash makes herself at home and is eating poor Zach's chips. The screen lights up right as some awful noontime drama starts airing on Channel 9. Nothing like sitting in front of the TV with a mindless drone running in the background to waste away the time. And waste it away I do. You like paprika chips, cowboy? Ooh, I don't think I've ever had paprika flavored chips before. Do we even have that in Australia? I wouldn't mind having it. If you guys are from Australia, let me know if we do have paprika flavored chips, because I don't remember it on Smith's. The afternoon has hit its last few hours when movement comes from the other side of the door, and Zach's heavy treads break the monotonous drivel from the TV. Oh, sorry, I couldn't even read that. Ruth says salt and vinegar, or anything chili. Ooh, yeah, chili. Ah, man. The lock clicks, the knob turns, and slowly it swings open to reveal a very exhausted looking Zach. Poor Zach. You know, you reminded me as well, Ruth. There was this one bag of chips that was just apples, like dried apple crisps. And they were just so sweet. It was so delicious, and they don't make them anymore, and I cry. What? Did he run a marathon?
Sup, Z-Man?
Yeah, he did, because there was a ghost. Light as my tone might be, his arrival eases the restless edge in me. Who knows what I would have done if something bad happened to another one of my friends. If another minute had gone by without him showing up, I might have resorted to unconventional methods.
Ash, how many times do I have to tell you not to call me Z-Man? And stop breaking into my apartment! Call the cops on you, but doing that feels like a joke in itself because you are one.
It is a joke.
I didn't. You gave me a key the last time I did that, remember?
After the last one you broke, I can't keep replacing the knob just because you think it'd be amusing to lockpick the hell out of it. And hey, is that my...
It's scary how the friendly banter and easy smile comes naturally.
You ate all of it! I was saving that one for the weekend!
I'm sorry! It was
I'll
delicious.
replace it.
I do it, even without thinking, and that speaks volumes about how comfortable I am around him. That's nice, isn't it? What makes me afraid of it, however, is the idea that a time might come where I might just do these without even meaning to offend him in some way. The friendship we have might be closer than most I've shared with others, but there are boundaries you can't cross without the other's permission. Zach's been respectful of that so far, neither asking about my parents or what happened to them. Me? I bet he'd say, not so much. It's also this easy banter that makes me wish we could stay like this. No worries, no problems, just potato chips and the debate on whether or not I deserve them. Do we deserve the chips? But as always, I have business. As soon as I see the chance, I take it and ask him about the odd things that have been happening lately, including that letter.
What did he say about the photographs?
Huh? Oh, there's no guarantee it's a supernatural thing. It doesn't always happen. So, that's a dead end right there. Now that I think about it, bothering that guy for this feels pretty silly now. But with the dreams lately...
What? Oh yeah, those dreams.
That's all? Did he say anything about the damn letter at all? Did you ask him even?
Yeah, that's really everything. The letter kind of slipped my mind. The photos were more important at that time. There was some stuff about the local horror stories, though. Talked about the curses, and he was really fascinated with the story about a wraith asking for a sacrifice to move on.
Wait, was this the time that Zach checked in on Professor Andrew as well? Because we just talked to Professor Andrew, didn't we?
Kinda nasty if you ask me. But it does make sense if you simply go along with it. I I'm not sure how this will help in the grand scheme of things. Why are you asking about this anyway?
Because we're scared. As expected, as we go through all this, Zach starts to look at me like I've grown a second head. Yeah, I would too. If there was ever a universe where I was standing in front of myself. Because even as a child, I never believed in ghost stories. The Lucky Charms and mystical objects from my mother have often been stored away or given as paltry gifts to those who would appreciate them more. Granted, I haven't eliminated every single possibility here, yet what else is there to go off on from? I try to stamp down on the annoyance that comes from the thought alone. The worried look Zach shoots my way doesn't help one bit in helping me gather my thoughts either, when that's when I came here for. Somehow, everyone's just suddenly so worried about me. It's not like I'm pulling this out of my ass. Even if If even Rebecca claims there's something shady going on, I'm inclined to believe there must be a scrap of truth to it. And when I look at those, along with Isabella's warnings, what happened to her? What's occurring around Zach? What has taken place around Luxbourne since Isabella found the letter?
Have you seen the news this morning?
His puzzled expression is enough answer. Of course he hasn't. Another night, another nightmare. The guy most likely went out as soon as he got out of bed to shake the images off. The memories have never really left him, so I show him, cycling through the channels until I find one doing a recap of this morning's reports. And there it is. Oh god, no. Ugh. The poor guy is unidentifiable with how badly his body's been burnt. Man burned after room catches fire. Another victim by the Anson Butcher? Murder via arson. That'd the logical... I don't think that's right. That would be the logical explanation if I was the officer looking into it. There's a lot of spelling errors here and there. Except they couldn't find the source of the fire. The fire didn't spread.
Found dead in the early hours of the morning today. The fire was contained within the room and no other tenants were harmed, according to Luxbourne Police.
That sounds like Rose's voice actor. They're going to consider spontaneous human combustion soon enough if they don't find anything else. But what's important for everyone to know is the state of the room.
A similar writing was found in another victim's room from last week's incident. Both were employees of Briar Realty Corporation. LBN has reached out to the...
I feel like Rose's voice actor and Rochelle's voice actor, Rochelle being Chief Inspector Lee's wife, the crazy woman, have the same voice actor probably. Can't wait to see the credits. Like what happened to Cooper. Hell, Cooper being Rose. Hell, I wonder how many other deaths like this I've missed while I've been looking into Wright. The LPD is already thinking it's a serial killer at this point. How long until they consult with the London Metropolitan? I'm not sure. The Anson Butcher has always been an enigma, even to the people within this city. Gone for a few years and then, in the next, one body after another is found. Merely handling the case has apparently driven the Chief Inspector insane years ago. He never did find out who committed those murders. Maybe now, this time.
You think this is...
I don't know what to think, Zach.
In the next second, I'm up on my feet and pacing the span of the room without thinking about it. My body just needs to be busy, moving about, burning out rather than burning my own brain out. Sometimes I do both, but moving helps. Keeps the brain running. Healthy body, healthy mind. Or was it the other way around? Fuck, I can't even think coherently right now. I just know there's something. There must be. There has to be.
I should have looked into this when she was still here. Maybe none of this would have happened if I did.
The words slip out of my mouth before I can censor them. The guilt and sorrow, feelings I won't let others even catch a glimpse of under normal circumstances, all laid bare in this one moment of weakness. Zach will say otherwise. He's always been the optimist, the one who sees the best in people. But such sentiments or any words of comfort won't change the truth. That a single instant of neglect and indifference has cost me someone really dear to me. Again. Zach is right to blame me for it. I'm the one who doesn't have any to be angry. We've all been given our warning that day in that desperate pleading tone of hers, and I'm the one who brushed it off. Still, like the usual Zach tries, a benefit of the doubt I'm not worthy of.
You ain't the only one stuck in this mess, you know.
It's my job to know things, damn it.
This is a whole fucking mess, and we're in it blind. The only way to make it worse is if we start running around like a bunch of headless chickens, but I have a concrete plan now, I think. Aside from those writings, there's another thing linking most, if not all, of those victims. The latter, I'll still have to look deeper into, of course. However, this little detail has been bothering me since one of the investigating officers brought it up. Even the news has picked up on it. Most of the victims are employees of the same company before their untimely deaths, Briar Realty Corporation. However, my suspicions are mine for the moment. The details are something Zack doesn't need to know until I have something to show. It's enough that he's aware that I have an idea in mind. For his part, Z-Man doesn't push it, and nothing but a heavy silence leads my departures hours later. Man, tell Zack! Oh man, you should tell Zack! Seriously, Zack would probably be a more responsible officer than me if he only had the heart to join the force. We could certainly use more kind people like him, but as good as that thought is, I push all of it into the back of my mind as I head for my car. Tonight, I can't stay distracted. What's happening tonight? Where are we going? The drive to BRC is a quiet affair, more so the hour-long wait for nightfall. Even with the radio blasting lively tunes, the place is rife with tense energy, only a matter of minutes now. But the ticking seconds don't take away the edge, and for the 5th time, I reach out and fiddle with the radio, adjusting and turning the knobs with no real purpose. It's a nervous quirk I've developed and never bothered to correct during stakeouts, something to keep my mind occupied during long nights. What I would give to hear Zack's, Rebecca's, or Isabella's voice right now. Scope BRC out, see if the real estate company has any more information that may be of help. That's the plan. Cooper and Isabella both worked on it before.
Traffic cams were useless, and those were supposed to be high def to begin with. Damn, huge waste of taxpayers' money when we can't even use it when we need it.
Well, I mean, those cameras can't detect ghosts, can it? I think.
The people at Tech have been at it since we got hold of the footage, and all they managed to salvage was a scant few seconds before she crossed the road. How does that help?
Well, there must be some use in that alone. Like, maybe someone pushed her?
Or grabbed her?
There was no one else. She just stopped right in the middle of the road.
Ghosties.
Just right in the fucking middle. It's like there was something there that prevented her from crossing. I just don't know what.
He's onto something.
Zack, Isabella's not that stupid. There was something there. That's what made her stop, and the traffic cams didn't catch it. Something. Or someone. Someone was there.
Man, he's sharp. Sure, I could also check the station for full reports. That's the easy semi-legal way. But I don't want to bump into Chief right now. The guys at the precinct would definitely throw me out on his orders as soon as they see me. Not that my plan right now is any better. I'm just breaking into a different place, more or less. Honestly, it's a toss-up between walking into this office or into the Wrights mansion. As it stands, I'll have an easier time getting in here first. After all, why would someone want to break into a realty company? Been here many times before anyway, a few casual visits when I want to bug Scaredy Cat. Wait, what? He bugs Isabella's calls? Why? Over the years, I have more or less grown familiar with this security setup and how badly staffed they are. Plus, it's an old building. If the bankruptcy rumors are true, it just means the access protocols might also be outdated. It gives me enough confidence as I exit my car and march towards the building. There are no side entrances, unfortunately. I'm going to have to do this the hard way. All things considered, though, it feels like this might go smoothly.
And where do you think you're going, young man?
Uh-oh.
Hey there, sir. A nice night we're having, eh?
Hello yourself. It's late. Most offices in this building have already closed up shop for the weekend.
The bloke seems friendly enough, though one can't really tell from his voice alone. He might be the wary soft, for all I know. Keeping an unconcerned face and aloof air won't hurt until I've figured out how to wiggle myself out of this situation.
Just come back on Monday if you have important business.
He's probably been working here for a few months already, maybe around 4 to 6 months max. Wow, wait, how did we psychoanalyze that? Otherwise, he would have recognized me at first glance. Ah, I haven't shown my face here since I've been assigned to the firm case a year ago. In the first place, none of the security officers ever lasted a year in service. The longest was around 7.5. I'll give this guy around that before he gets fired or finds a better paying job. For the moment, his too friendly attitude is almost a gift.
Really? Damn. Boss man won't be too happy to hear that.
Boss man?
Sorry, it's my boss, Mr. John.
Mr.
He
John?
asked me to get a few things from his table. Important work stuff, you know.
John? From Briar Realty?
The one and only. But this sucks. I didn't realize the office closes early on weekends. Shouldn't have stayed for another movie. Damn. I'm gonna get an earful later. New hire, you see?
Good thing Isabella has been quite open with stories from her office, no matter how mundane they all are. Wow! Oh man, this guy's good. Granted, she rarely talks about her boss, but what I've gleaned from it is enough to fabricate a decent, believable story.
New hires are always so dumb and clueless, I swear.
Sorry.
You guys come and go a lot these days, but I suppose that's because they pay you a lot less in commission than the older agents, huh?
You can say that again. But it's nothing hard work can't fix.
Sure, you can do that, if this branch stays afloat.
What do you mean?
You know, stuff in the news.
You mean what
yeah.
happened with Rose Cooper?
Patience is the key. I can't rush this one or he'll get suspicious, or I might make a mistake. Besides, if I'm going to be stuck here with him for a while, I might as well try to gather as much intel as I can. He may just be a guard, someone with no real authority, but most of the time, people like him are the ones who know more than they let on.
Yeah, but even before that, we've got a couple of good blokes we never saw again. There was this one kid too, Santillion? Sanchez?
Santos. Isabella.
Really? Those guys could have just resigned for all you know.
Dunno, I only catch tidbits of stuff from over here. Though seriously, I heard the branch is getting flushed soon, but that's no excuse for anarchy.
Flushed? Like, it's going down?
You're the third newbie he's sent running errands this week. I can't keep letting you all in after office hours. I'll get in trouble too, you know?
Oh.
Come on, just a few minutes.
There's a long pause from his end, as if he's contemplating his options. A little push is all it needs before he gives in.
You know how fickle the boss's moods can be.
Well, yeah, but...
Please, I really need to get those files to him tonight.
Yes!
Right. Go ahead. Swear you young ones have no respect for authority. Use the side entrance. I've already locked up the main door. I'm not gonna open that even if you give me puppy eyes.
Thanks. I owe you one.
Oh man. Using the side door presents a different problem, however. It needs an access card, one I don't have. I could always pry it open and use a gecko. What's a gecko? He's not talking about the lizard, is he? But right under a guard's watch?
There's just this one problem.
What is it again?
I forgot my access card.
Oh god. I make a show of facing the security cameras, pulling my empty pockets out and presenting him the sorriest look I can muster.
Bloody hell, kids these days.
Is there any way for you to...
Boy, you're lucky I'm nice.
Oh, he is nice. Oh man, wow, we are lucky.
I'll go and unlock the side entrance for you then. You can use my card, it's on the front desk. You'll need to beep in when you report for proper work on Monday, though. And don't forget to turn off the lights before you leave, Kate?
Right. He cuts off the connection before I can thank him. Soon the latch clicks and the side door swings open. The guard, a stout man wearing a uniform still too loose for him, waves me over from the gap before he disappears behind his station again. Just my luck. Here I thought I'd have to use unconventional methods. Sure, I might be getting the guy in trouble. I kind of feel sorry for that, but it's not like he'll be keeping the job for long if he's always letting people in like that. If BRC... Oh man, he's giving that excuse. Oh, but that poor guy. If BRC doesn't have long either, he'll be job hunting sooner or later anyway. Oh man, excuses, just to make ourselves feel better. He's lucky I'm not here to hurt anyone. If I was someone with ill intentions, he might not be smiling at the end of the day. Of course, as I step into the building and grab his access card, I try to push all of these concerns as far down as I can. I need to focus. Work is work. What are we grabbing from here again? Although, if this is a sign of what's to come, then maybe things are indeed looking up. It's a quiet ride up to the 7th floor where the BRC Luxbourne main office is. Seb, according to his access card, has been kind enough to switch the elevator's power on just as I'm about to head for the fire exit stairs. Aww, he even let us use the elevator! Oh, I'm liking Seb now. Which is a welcome relief. I'm an active guy, but stairs? I don't want to tire out too quickly, in case things get ugly. There probably won't be any trouble with the building this quiet, but you never know. I swear, the whole place definitely feels eerie at this time of night. Oh, don't say that. Shit. But until I've confirmed anything, those are just stories. Worse things can happen, no need to scare myself. Staying calm means fewer mistakes.
Though I sure am fucking gutsy, especially with what I'm doing.
I'm breaking a lot of laws here. Best thing that can come out of this is that Isabella's right all along. Worst case scenario, I find evidence that would implicate BRC or Luke Wright in a crime, and my meddling, if I'm not careful enough, makes it inadmissible in court. Oh man, that sucks. See, like, even if you find evidence, but you do it the roundabout way, it doesn't count. So it's like, yeah, no, look, I've got a picture of him killing a person with a thumbs up and holding today's newspaper as well to finalize the date. Oh, but you broke in to get it? Yeah, no, we can't convict him of murder then. Like, that's bullshit. That's fucked. Though, I'll be honest, I strongly prefer losing my job or facing Wright over some spiritual ghost or whatever it is. I could always work around the problems with the former. Fighting off a phantom? How does one even do that? Do guns even work with them?
Yeah, not going to happen.
But tonight, I'm here to fix things. If I do it without leaving a trail, all the better. Good thing, that's what I'm good at. Whoa, look at that, I got myself an achievement. Half-baked knowledge. The immediate area beyond the elevator door sees the agent's station. There's a lot more doors to the floor, of course, but first order of business as soon as I'm in, locate the records room, then the security. Passing the sea of cubicles, I can't help but take in everything in the office, a force of habit for the most part. As far as I know, BRC Luxbourne used to own this whole building. Offices in several floors once upon a time when real estate is still a lucrative business for the company in this side of the country. Then competition showed up, and suddenly everything's not so good anymore. It only got worse as the years went by, or so according to the rumors. Now the branch is just this floor, despite what the huge sign in the building's facades says. And frankly, it's not too hard to believe when one looks at the state of this room right now. It's sad when a business like that, it used to be so lucrative, but now goes under. A number of desks have been cleared out. Personal mementos are scarce, as if the employees have gone on an exodus. That'll be the downsizing, probably. Searching for what I need would be a whole lot easier if Isabella were here. Maybe she'll even tell me more about the sudden layoffs. She has always been...
Focus, Frey. There's no point in whining or dwelling any longer on it. That's why I'm here in the first place.
Without her, I'll just have to do this the old-fashioned way. I'm a detective, aren't I?
Besides, the longer I take here, the riskier the situation becomes.
Brushing it all off, I immediately get to work on the far wall of the main workspace. Plaques label most of the doors for easy identification. The staff lounge and the branch manager's offices are places I'm familiar with, and they're easily the most accessible of the private rooms. To the right of the manager's office is the meeting room and human resources, HR. To its far left, the records, followed by security further back. Easy as pie. What will be tricky is getting inside both rooms. The security room first. The fact that no one has walked out when I entered means the room is either empty or the guards sound asleep. I'm banking more on the former. If they're cutting corners and firing agents, I have no doubt that they fired the guy stationed here, if they have anyone watching the monitors in the first place. It's a rather common thing for establishments, just leave security recording indefinitely and only check the footage if something actually happens. Just to check, I press my ears against the door, listening for a sign of anyone occupying the room. After a long minute and nothing, I move back towards the records door and give its knob a few rattles. Time to get to work.
Standard lock and key. Should be easy enough to pick.
We have lock-pick sets, but those are only to be used if necessary, and with a search warrant. Even then, it's a skill set rarely needed. Subtlety isn't on a cop's priority. If they have authority to search the premises, bolt cutters and brute force are the favoured methods. If those fail, we call a locksmith. Me, I prefer the good old hairpin trick when those options aren't available. Besides, they're easy to hide and store for emergencies. Does anyone know how to do that hairpin lock kind of thing? Lock picking? Seems cool. Running my hand through my hair, I pull a pair of bobby pins. Really? You have bobby pins in your hair? Oh man, I don't even know how to put bobby pins on, actually. I don't even know how they work. 2 of these, and I can just about open any standard lock. Wow! One makes a lever, and the other one makes a handle. I won't call it a complex skill. I feel like it is. But it certainly takes time and a lot of practice to successfully pick a lock. Good thing I've practiced with them for a bit in my college years. I learned more when they're accessible and standard issue for a law enforcement officer. What, these are standard issue? No, I'm sure there's a lockpicking thing. A wiggle here and a click there, and I managed to seize all the pins in the locking mechanism soon enough. I can pick a lock, you just drive through them doors. I mean, it sounds easier said than done though. With a slight turn of the knob, the records room's ripe for the picking.
Easier said than done. Now, where should I start looking?
Wow, he says exactly what I just said. The property files are probably my best bet, as well as the people who worked on it, including Isabella and Rose Cooper. The sign-in forms from the open house can also help me track the clients, but it's a little too far-fetched to think those people have been affected. It would have been news now. Isabella's has already found the letter by the time the open house has started. Besides, out of all the visitors, it's only with the right couple who Isabella and Cooper has had notable interaction with, one that led to the sale of the mansion. So, for the next half of the hour, I work in complete silence, digging into every files compiled in the Ermengarde mansion folder. Ooh, look at those 2 lovely looking folders. The client files, I leave alone like the sign forms. What? The client files I leave alone like the sign forms. Better narrow this down as early as possible. I don't think I said that right. My best bet are still the people who have worked closely with Cooper, Isabella, and BRC itself. After all, that's where the connection is. Not an easy task considering how thick the whole thing is. Just the correspondence and contracts for the restoration alone makes up a stack of papers that's an inch thick. Third-party service providers hired by the masonry, radiators, woodworkers, plasterworks, slate roofing, and a whole bunch of other things are well documented. Hell, every single contractor who worked on the project were listed individually, even if they were just there to do the plumbing. It's a high-profile and high-cost estate, alright? But with that scope comes the loopholes, means plenty of room to hide something in if there's something fishy going on. All I have to do is find a pattern, and it doesn't take long. Upon closer glance, despite the original owners shouldering the renovation costs, it'll be surprising if they've managed to break even on the Ermengarde mansion. What with the additional expenses for the open house, the commission for the agents, and other overhead fees. At one point, the negotiations to get it listed under BRC's name almost broke down too. Some disagreement about the listing price. The owners wanted to be rid of it, and as quickly as possible, while keeping the worth at profitable level. BRC was insisting a higher amount, double what the appraiser suggested. This plus the rumor that the branch is closing? BRC Luxbourne really is in the red, and the sale of the mansion could have easily have been a desperate move to keep the branch afloat.
No wonder the final sale happened as fast as it did. Sheesh, this place is just unlucky. Going bankrupt while the rest of this crap is happening?
Oh man. But this isn't what I'm looking for. What I need is the who, the people, aside from Isabella and Cooper involved in this business with the mansion, and the how they are now. I can't do much with the outside contractors. They won't be on file. The employee list, on the other hand, because if Isabella was to be believed, if what she's seen and what happened to Rose Cooper is because of that letter, I need to know everyone who has possibly read it aside from the 3 of us. If they've been noticing strange things too. For all I know, these may have just been a terrible coincidence. I feel like we've already met all of those who have already seen the letter, like example Marianne. Although, the thought of that starts to diminish as I dig into the BRC's company files. Turns out, there were 2 more employees who handled the mansion directly aside from Cooper and Isabella. Christian Sy, the realty specialist, and Mark Julius John Marie, the estate appraiser.
This C guy, he was in custody just the other day.
Really? Why? Folks at the precinct said they went to his house after a noise complaint. They found him acting all crazy and had to take him in when he started getting violent. Kept screaming about a woman. It was driving the guards mad, but he didn't last long. A few hours in, he just started bashing his own head against the wall. Oh my god! And well, it was messy to say the least. Guy's in the hospital right now, and I heard they're looking into putting him into a psychiatric ward as soon as he recovers. Within the company, he's been marked AWOL. Jean Marie, on the other hand, his employees file notes his date on leaving, and even when his final payment had been given. Along with it, there's a letter to his family about the praiser being found dead in the office. Oh my god! Communication is hush-hush, and there's mention of compensation if they don't talk about it to the media. Man, that's so messed up. Inspector Abigail has often scolded me for not reading the reports on a regular basis, but I try to keep up to date as much as I can. When I do, I make sure I'm aware of the gist of what's going on in my city. This never reached the police's ears or the health and safety executive. So they just covered up this guy's death and then gave money to keep it hush? Man, that's fucked up. How do you...
Business going under and someone dies while working here? Of course they want to keep that quiet. It's bad publicity. This whole thing is just getting freakier by the minute.
And illegal. I continue flipping through the documents for a while more. It's a quarter of an hour later when I put down the papers with a sigh and begin placing the folders where they belong. Aside from those two, I found nothing else of note. I feel like I'm still missing a lot of things here, but it's about time I leave. I've taken too long. I make short work of creating duplicates out of everything I've deemed important. The pages with the names, addresses, and contact numbers will do. I'll start with the ones who live within the city. Once I finish, I've tucked duplicates under my arm and bring the originals back to their proper place. With that done, I lock the door behind me, tugging it twice just to make sure. I have my work cut out for me. It's not like I can ask for backup from the force. Now onto the next order of business, removing the evidence of my little excursion in here. Can't have my face plastered on security footage showing me breaking the law, as it were. But if he's going to remove himself from security, wouldn't the security guy Seb also have footage of him entering the place? I'm going to have to wipe the data for Seb's access card entries too. What? How does he do that? So I won't incriminate the poor guy. Oh, well, that's nice. Same with the records room. The security is also using a standard lock and key. Good thing my trusty bobbies are always here for me. Without much difficulty, I find myself facing the security monitors. Oh, this doesn't look good. The room's odor hits me first. A sharp, nauseating stench, as if someone has accidentally spilled a gallon of bleach in the room. When was the last time they opened this place?
Ugh. This place smells awful. Jesus, it's worse than the forensics lab on a bad day.
This is probably because of badly botched effort to clean the place up. Even in the dark, I can spy dark stains on the walls. Ugh. I really don't have the time to try and play is this ketchup or soda right now, but I have this strange gut feeling who the mess might belong to. Who? What, Isabella? As expected, no security personnel mans the office's CCTV controls, and the standalone DVR setup is open for anyone. Normally, I'd have a heap of things to say about this sloppy security setup, but right now, the negligence makes the whole task of erasing evidence easier.
No fuss, no muss.
The next one should be the access card data. Hopefully, getting into the computer won't be too much of a hassle. Everything up to now has been smooth sailing. There have been hiccups, I'll give it that, though it does nothing to dampen the good mood I'm in. Once I shift my attention to the machine sitting next to the DVR setup, all of it swiftly evaporates. I'm no computer buff, but I can definitely recognize one more than a decade old. Simply looking at it makes me feel younger. I have no other choice, however, unless I pull the douche card and leave Seb to whatever trouble he might get into. I don't have the heart for such a thing. After all, the help the old man has unknowingly lent me tonight. With a heavy sigh, I power it up and mentally prepare myself for a slow slug. Slow, apparently, remains an understatement here. It takes a whole 3 minutes for this thing to start up. The OS hasn't even started loading, and in my boredom, I start inspecting the live feeds from the cams. Only two works. One for the view outside, everything seems to be in order there, and the other for main workspace where it's a fleeting glimpse, a cursory glance, but the sight of it stops me. The image is blurry, but standing there. Oh, I see it! Oh, I see it! But standing there, right in the middle of the room, by one of the cubicles, I can make out the form of a...
What the hell is...
Oh my god, you gotta get the fuck out of there. I don't get too far into that line of thought. No few seconds after my words have slipped out, without any sort of warning while I'm still trying to make sense of what it is. Oh no! A moment of paralysis hits me. Oh, it's getting closer! Oh, where'd it go? Oh shit, a moment... Oh yeah, it's getting really close! A moment of paralysis hits me when she stops right in front of the camera. Like a damn rookie, I go still in the face of danger. I definitely haven't been trained to handle the supernatural, and this one isn't it? And... oh fuck. Her eyes bore into me, the malice in them piercing. Even beyond the screen, it's enough to make me go numb. Only the mud crashing to the floor, my hands accidentally text a swipe at it, snaps me out of the trance. Without second thought, I back away from the controls, from the room, ready to be done with this place. But before my foot even moves, she disappears.
Son of a...
Woo! Oh! No thanks, I'm good. Cheers. Son of a... Instinct instantly takes over, and my hand quickly reaches for the gun at my side, only to meet empty air. A mistake that cost me few precious seconds, while the paperwork I've brought with me threatens to scatter everywhere at the same time. No, don't lose the paperwork! Gathering everything and myself once more, with no weapon to protect myself, my sense of self-preservation kicks in next, and I lunge towards the door. I sprint across the office without daring to look back. As soon as I make it out of the office, I practically throw myself into the open elevator and slam the button for the ground floor. Oh no! Take Seb with us! A sigh of relief escapes from me when the elevator starts its descent. Oh boy! The clicking noise fades off into the distance. Shifting the stack of papers under my arm, I lean back and wait in an attempt to compose myself. Breathe. In. Out. In a matter of seconds, the elevator stops and the doors open to... There's a moment's pause when I take in my surroundings. Confusion's understandably there, along with frustration.
Are you kidding me? They should just replace this whole thing!
We're in the basement, aren't we? I'm quite sure I pressed for the ground floor though. But it's an old building. The elevator always did have problems when I visited the past. Even Isabella becomes so angry whenever we try to get to her floor, and she'll have to repeatedly smash the button for the elevator to even move. That was always a good laugh. I wasn't too worried then. Now. No! From the distance, beyond the light's reach, the noise echoes in my ears along with the rapid pounding in my chest.
Anyone there?
Yeah?
I can hear you moving from here. Show yourself.
Please don't. In response, only the soft sound of something scurrying across the floor and the walls in slow, deliberate movements, faint though still audible enough in this hush, until it stops. A moment, and then... This time, I'm certain it isn't my imagination. Against my training, my whole body stiffens, hands stilling... Stilling? Do you mean hands still in mid-press on the button, eyes growing wide while waiting for any sort of movement from further back, and ears strained for the source of the sound. Much as I hate to admit it, dread has seeped into every nerve in my body, and the blasted elevator still won't work!
This isn't in my fucking training manual!
Another series of shufflings against the ground, a laughter, and all of a sudden, she's just there. Like a twisted spider, she stares at me. A look of hunger in her eyes and venom in the twisted manner she smiles. A glee she has well earned when I'm a damn fly that has been dropped right onto the spider's web.
Damn it!
Without warning, she moves, mocking me with each unhurried crawl she takes, knowing I'm at her mercy.
Fucking hell, work, you stupid!
My life is in the hands of a crummy elevator, literally hanging between life and death. I'm not going to die here. Not in a damned elevator! Oh, 71843 64123. Oh shit, 89653. Oh shit, 25439. Fuck you. Oh man. I tried to type on my my keyboard on the right hand side, like that little bit with the num lock, but it didn't work. Oh, it didn't fucking work. Oh man. As if a divine power has heard me swearing up a storm in my head, the doors close just as that thing looms near. Soon, the elevator, the blasted thing, is headed up. Oh man, we could have died just then. And this is the most I've been tired my whole damn life. Not during training when my superiors first asked me to drop 100, not after a stakeout, but after smashing a fucking elevator button repeatedly. I slump to the ground, worn out, but I don't let myself feel relief again, not until I'm out of here. Whoo! Oh boy. Yeah, close, right? Holy shit, she almost got us. Still, I find myself letting out a shaky laugh.
Fuck, I should have taken the goddamn stairs.
Twice I've seen it. Thrice if I include the party, unless I'm tripping balls without realizing it. There's no doubt in my mind that this is actually happening. I don't want to believe it. You should! But with the truth staring at me in the face, it'll be stupidity to deny the reality of the matter. Oh! As soon as the lift hits the open ground, I hightail out of the building. Seb's sound asleep when I pass by his station. Man, fucking tell Seb to get the fuck out of there too. However, in the face of what I've seen, everything I've faced tonight, I really can't care less who will see me on my way out. The sooner I get away from this place, the farther, the better. I'm just not sure if that also means being safe. She almost got me, damn it! The fucking thing almost had me. Shit. It was only by luck that I managed to get the fucking elevator unstuck. Had the blasted thing not worked in the last second. I need some air. Fresh, breathable air that doesn't stink like death and gore all at once. I'm panicking. Christ, losing focus. I can't afford that right now. I can't lose it when Zach and Rebecca might be in trouble as well.
Remember your training, Frey.
Another deep breath, and soon I'm starting the engines and driving off. After that little incident, somewhere open would be good. Someplace I won't get trapped. Luxbourne Park brings a welcome relief, though only by some. The chill that has seeped in my bones is still there, furling and unfurling underneath my skin. If I don't move, if I don't busy myself with anything, soon my brain will go haywire. It's the last thing I want to happen when there are plenty of things to do. But this already answers all of it, doesn't it? Those deaths. Just how many copies of the letter are out there? Isabella can't have the only one if other people are also getting cursed. Yeah, true. Because other people are dying. So, did they see the letter too? Or, yeah, maybe there are more. Could it be that the one she has shown us is just one of 5? Maybe even more? That whole pass it to 5 people business is ridiculous. But at this point, is it still? I think, if you guys remember Marianne's playthrough, the pass it to 5 other people things, I think that was those kids from that school. Because they also found the letter, and then they also scribbled on it. So I'm guessing what they scribbled on was that pass it to 5 other people, blah, blah, blah. All in all, I found 2 deceased people who might have read the letter. 4, if we count Cooper as well as Isabella. And that's only what I can find right now. I have no idea how the contractors and specialists hired from outside the company are doing, if they are in any way affected. How many more people are suffering? How many are missing? How many are dead? Can I still even blame the Wrights for this? If anything, they might be in danger as well. I don't think I can wish a curse upon anyone, no matter how big of a douchebag Luke Wright is. There's also that woman. How do we get out of this mess? How do we get away from her? Shit, still so many things we need to look into, yet all my body wants to do is pace, burn out whatever excess energy there is in me.
I'm not going crazy, am I? I saw that. I'm pretty sure I saw that. I didn't inhale anything weird. Just shit. Shit.
Yep, that's the right reaction. Of course, the panic passes soon, replaced by another tense silence as everything sinks in, the awareness of the much bigger trouble looming over me. Us. We're in deep shit, and it has finally caught up and hit me like a ton of bricks. Because Isabella has been warning us of this since day 1, and I'm the first person who brushed it off. Suddenly exhausted, I slump down on a bench and bury my face in my hands. That's not how you spell bury. That's bury. As every regret bears down on me, and in the stillness of the park, a plea slips out.
Isabella, what am I supposed to do? Tell me, please.
I'm sure she doesn't know either. A desperation after all my failures, after all the things I've disregarded, all at cost of the people I care about. October 30th, Sunday. Oh boy. Darkness blurs the edges of my vision. Black tendrils twist and coil around my limbs. Soft footfall echoed from the far distance. Scurrying, scampering, moving in an odd rhythm with the sharp, piercing notes of her laughter. A scream threatens to burst, but my throat closes off. Ever so slowly, a chill seeps into every nerve in my body, washing away every sensation in me, apart from one. There is only fear. Once again, her laughter echoes, a sound both bitter and unforgiving. It is the last thing I hear before she reaches for me. The ground trembles, the world slows to a stop. Morning breaks in a blurry mess of vivid shapes and colours. Oddly, there's no feeling of terror or confusion gripping me, despite the vague images that have driven me off from sleep. Did we just sleep in the park? I feel like that's exactly what we just did. We just slept overnight in the park. Awareness kicks in shortly, though slow and sluggish as I blink away the last remnants of consciousness from my eyes. The early morning light already streams from the open windows. Windows? When the memory sets in and the room I'm in finally comes into focus. Oh, we're in a room? Not a room. My car. Ah, okay, he slept in his car. I've bunkered down here last night after my nerves have calmed. When you almost get trapped in a confined space, there's no questioning about staying somewhere open. Not again. She might appear any time. She won't catch me off guard again. That woman. Is she still one in the first place? One that we'd normally call a human? Can I still feel guilt? Does it understand pain? Fuck. I take breaking and entering charges over whatever she was in any day. Pushing myself upright, my eyes wander idly towards mess of papers I've gathered from BRC last night, a proof that none of it is a dream, no matter how much I wish for it. Then it shifts to the view outside, right to the line of trees and winding pathways. There are some already strolling about the place, a few people here and there, dotting the space my eyes can reach, but otherwise the whole park is empty. Quiet, for some reason. I can't stand the silence right now. Not when that woman's face has been burned in my eyelids. Whenever I close my eyes, I see her. It's a miracle I'm still able to get a few hours of sleep, even when that horrid laughter of hers still ringing in my ears. But then, maybe it's simply my exhaustion at work. You'd think I'm used to going 48 hours, maybe even more without rest. And I am. But what happened at BRC has shaken me up like nothing else has. Thugs and criminals, hell, even crime lords I can deal with, but ghouls and the undead?
Oh, I didn't sign up for that.
Seriously, this better not be the start of some zombie apocalypse. Actually, maybe a zombie apocalypse would be preferable. I'd at least know what I need to do. Shoot dead stuff until they're dead for good, and leave figuring out how everything went to the What? And leave figuring out how everything went to hell to the scientists. Got it. Finally got it.
Thinking about it won't change anything, though. She's just toying with our lives.
She's dangerous. If we don't do anything about her and this curse, we'll definitely be pushing Daisy soon. And I can't let that happen to Isabella happen to the others as well. I've dallied on this long enough, left all my friends in harm's way after the warnings they've given me. I do admit I'm afraid, but beneath the terror, adrenaline keeps me running, compels me to take action, to do something. I also have 2 people I need to check with. Isabella would definitely get a tizzy if I don't check on him. God, I should have listened to Isabella. Maybe I don't need to outright believe her, but I should have listened. Then maybe she wouldn't be. There's no point dwelling on what-ifs and should-haves. I can't do anything about the past. What I should be caring about is what might happen. That I can do something about. With one last sigh, I start my car and slowly pull off the parking lot. Zach has already been warned yesterday. I trust them not to do anything stupid. Rebecca, on the other hand, we ended up on a bad note last time. Might as well mend things with her first. Oh, we went to her place. Oh, that's nice. Cold, Luxborn air meets me upon slipping out of my car. Not unusual to be loved by anyone. Da-na-na-na-na-na. I don't know why that just came up. Not unusual in itself. This is what Luxborn's weather is supposed to be. A bit cold, damp for the most part, and more often than not, terribly drab with an occasional sprinkling of rain every few hours. The sky is still clear, but I give it a day or two before the weather takes a turn for the worse. I've complained about the awful rains for years, despite having lived my entire life. I have to admit, though, seeing it return to the usual feels extremely reassuring. At least, something's still normal in the world when I can no longer think the same for the situation we're in. A nightmare. That's probably all this is. Usually I'll say, I've been through worse, but that's simply another lie I've often told myself, isn't it? I've fed myself a great deal of lies through the years, just so I won't have to think about the next day. Maybe we won't even have this problem if I had been running around and ignoring things, hiding them someplace no one will see, because I've since believed doing so is a show of weakness. Zach's probably right. Perhaps I've always been afraid of my own incompetence, might be at fault with what happened to Isabella. After all, it's true. And now, after it has stared at me right in the face, I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss? Do you mean I'm at a loss? I've no clue how to deal with it. Scared shitless to boot.
The fuck do I know about ghosts, though?
What does Zach? What does Rebecca? Z-Man has shown me photographs, mentioned weird things happening around him these past few days. Bottom line, he likely knows as much about this as I do. Why else would he approach me? The guy who knows stuff, according to him. In the end, all I've done is give him the brush off. Some reliable guy I am. Hell, Rebecca's probably in the same boat, grasping for anything that might provide an answer, a way out of this. What can any of us do when all of us lacks any understanding of what's happening? One thing's clear about this, however. That thing is after us because of the letter. Isabella's accident might as well have been that ghost's doing. Both Rebecca and Zach have seen it too. She will go after them as well. Yet here I am, walking up Becca's door one slow step at a time, a stalling tactic to allow myself some time to put the mess in my head in a better order. How to phrase this? When there's a 90% chance she's still pissed about a whole different matter. It's the only reason I didn't check up on her last night. I'll only alarm her by showing up in her home in the middle of the night acting like a babbling lunatic. And her anger can last quite a while. These past years, it seems the only one she has been able to easily forgive is Isabella. I kind of wish she's here to help me talk to her. I run my hand through my hair and straighten out my jacket before knocking. Once, twice, and 3 times just to be sure Becca has heard me, even if she's awake. She's usually awake by now, though.
Hey, Becca, it's Ash. Open up. Don't tell me you're still in bed.
Seconds tick by. No answer from her, and dread has started to creep up. Oh, is this when Rebecca went to the library? Oh dear. I've been trained to handle dire situations, but the feeling has been doing that quite frequently since last night. My mind begins to anticipate the worst, and in the next minute, concern has mixed in with my thoughts, and I bang my fist on the door louder this time. She'll definitely be livid, but I'd rather face a wrath than a dead body.
Becca, it's Ash. There's something we need to talk about right away. Open up, I know
Your girlfriend left early this morning, pretty boy.
Huh?
So if you could do us a bloody favor and shut up, that'd be real fucking polite.
The neighbor? My hand pauses short of landing another heavy knock. From the other unit, Rebecca's other neighbor peeks in through his door, though I see nothing but a bundle of blankets. I'll say they need help from being devoured by their sheets, but it sounds like he's just fine. Sounds like he's cold. He's a huge asshole too. Course of action. So people like him won't ruin your day. Act like the nicest person on the planet. Has done me wonders when I was a rookie patrolling the streets. No need to match his temper.
Oh, did she say where she was going?
I don't know. She said something about meeting someone or something.
This sounds like Luke. This sounds like Luke's voice actor.
Well, what am I, her keeper? You know some people want to sleep in on a bloody Sunday, so keep it down. Just looking forward to this weekend. Thanks, you damn git.
Well, there's no need to be an ass about it. I'll get out of your...
He slams his door shut without warning, but not before muttering a string of very colourful words about me. Probably thinks I won't hear him inside the 4 walls of his apartment.
Jerk.
And at the end of it, a sigh. So Rebecca's not here. I must have missed her by an hour or so. No! But at least she's not alone. She should be safe in theory. More so, if the person she's meeting with is who I am thinking. Oh, this is when she meets with Professor Andrew. Nevertheless, I still can't help but worry. It's an easy thing continuing down increasingly darker lines of thought, to act brashly, to find out where she is and go straight there, without deliberating on my actions first. There's Zach to boot. Rebecca's not alone, but I can't say the same for the big guy. A simple phone call to the both of them should do the trick. It'll ease my nerves at any rate. It's better than rushing over to Zach's place or assuming Rebecca's whereabouts and finding out they're not where I guessed they should be. Assuming the worst will come next, which I'd rather avoid this early. Any other reason, I won't bother them, but an emergency begs for urgency. This is one, right? Even if it isn't, anxiety from concern dulls judgment. Something I most certainly can't afford to lose at any given time, especially right now. Any means to calm it will do wonders for the muddled mess my mind is already in. Oh, wow, look at all this. Pulling up my phone, I thumb through the screen until it ends up on a group with only Zach's, Rebecca's, and Isabella's numbers listed. Oh, cool. Man, look how fucked up our phone is. Other people will probably say I keep too few friends when they chance on this. To some extent, it's true. I can easily name about 100 people I've been acquainted with through the years, colleagues, blockmates from uni, neighbours, those sort of people. They all come and go, but these three have chosen to stay for some reason, without wanting or asking for anything. Unlike the others, none have Zach's kindness, Rebecca's patience, nor the sincerity in Isabella's eyes. One day, these guys are just there. The next thing I know, being with them eases it. That heavy, somber feeling lingering in the air when you stand alone in your apartment, or something as simple as spending your day off without anyone. I'll say it's loneliness, but this carries much more depth than that. If I can help it, I don't want to lose the rest of them to some stupid curse. I've already come too close to losing one. A phone call may be the least comforting thing at the moment. Honestly, I prefer being in the same room with them right now, but I'll take what I can get. Becca first. She'll get angry at me for worrying about her. She isn't some helpless damsel in distress after all. She isn't the shy little girl I knew when we were children. We're already far from the people we were back then, but that's more than enough reason to check in on her. Yes, please, check in on her. I don't have to imagine her taking anything head on. She'll do it, instead of asking for help when she needs it. I don't care if she gets mad at me, if only to know she's fine. A ring in the silence of the hallway. It sounds alone. Might as well be sharp enough to pierce through my ears. Another second passes. 2, 3. But when on the 9th ring, it goes straight to a voicemail. A cold feeling instantly lodges in my stomach.
Rebecca Gales here. You've reached my voicemail. Sorry if I can't get to you right now. Oh, and if this is Isabella, yes, you're free to reheat the food in my fridge. Otherwise, leave a message.
Beep. Probably just busy, that's all. Though I still barely manage to keep my voice even when I speak.
Hey, Becca, call me back when you're free. We need to talk. ASAP.
Oh, and this is the voicemail that we left her. Becca will be alright. She is alright. She's safe. She's with someone else. She's really not. In the event that woman shows up, she'll have someone with her. Someone she'll be able to ask for help. Oh, you mean Andrew, gotcha. She's safe. She can handle herself. Becca might have a fiery temper, but she knows when she's faced with something she can't handle herself. Rebecca will see my missed call and she'll call me back. Though I don't express it enough, Rebecca is someone I consider important to me. Ah, look at that. She's been my friend for the longest. Anyone else would have been fed up with me and left. Oh, look how cute we look. Man, wow. Rebecca looks just like Kylie with those pigtails. The girls stuck by me, no matter how big of a jerk I've been. There's Zach and Isabella now too, of course. I'll always be thankful for having them around. The worst times before, however, Becca was there. No one believes it when I say it, but I've surely had my awful moments as a bratty kid and as a horrible teen. Issues, I've seen too many of them to count, and refuse to deal with them for a time. At least that's what Andrew likes to tell me. I tend to think nothing of it. It has mellowed down over the years, thanks to the professor mostly, but at times I do wonder if it still burdens me the way it did all those years ago. After all, I was terrible, especially around the time of my parents' separation. Looking back at it now, I had no reason to direct all my frustration towards everyone else. While I wasn't a kid who lashed out at anyone, preferring to keep it to myself and turning those negative feelings into more productive things. I've grown distant from a lot of people because of it, from old friends back in my old school and the neighbours I've hung out with before moving. A habit I've likely brought with me into adulthood. I was just so angry with everyone and everything. All I kept thinking about was myself, wondering why me? In retrospect, I was selfish, little bastard who thought the world revolved around me. That I shouldn't have been going through it. I believe my behavior was entitled, that I had the right. Tough times, but she stuck with me, snapped me out of my little sulk, as she often phrases it, whenever she sees a chance to bring it up. She didn't tolerate my bullshit, but she didn't leave me alone either. If anything, the whole thing made her stick around. Her concern may have grown a bit too overbearing as the years went by, but she's still an old friend nevertheless. I owe her a lot. That won't change.
Damn it. Where are you, Becca?
Another message left on her voicemail. Then, on my third call, I hang up. For the time being, I can't do anything more than to wait for her to return my calls. Worrying aimlessly won't get me anywhere. Zach, on the other hand. Oh, we're finally calling Zach? That guy attracts trouble no matter how much he tries to avoid it. Doesn't help how he has been too hot lately with a lot of people. His mention of plans yesterday doesn't sit too well with me either. He might be the next responsible adult after Rebecca, out of the four of us. But I've still got to check on the big guy. Yes, please. Make sure he's doing okay at the very least, whatever he has planned on doing. All I'm asking is for it not to be idiotic. He's a sensible guy, I'm sure. Oh man, and I think this is the time when Zach was at the Ermengarde mansion and we had the choice of either breaking and entering into the window to investigate the ghost or leaving. Oh, I think this is the phone call. However, desperation clings and pushes people to do things, rational or irrational, it doesn't matter. Clear thinking flies out of the window the moment you're in danger, and I sincerely hope he has not found himself in a tricky situation. Oh, he has. His phone doesn't even ring before he answers, or his voicemail at least.
Hey, it's Zach. Well, a voicemail anyway. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So, just leave a message, yeah? And no, Ash, you're not allowed to lockpick your way into my apartment again. Just do what any other decent human being does and call if I'm not around. Thanks.
Did he turn it off? Why? I don't want to assume the worst. Maybe he's forgotten to charge it? Can't be. The guy can be a bit of a Boy Scout, even more than I am as a cop. He's the type who has an extra battery or a power bank in his bag if he ever needs it. And he always does. I always kind of have a power bank with me, especially when I'm traveling. What about you guys? He won't say anything or brag about it, but he's got a quite roster of VIP freelance clients. That doesn't sound right. I think it's meant to say, but he's got quite a roster of VIP freelance clients. We're picking up on a lot of these, aren't we? He won't just leave his phone dead in case he's on the field, particularly when people will likely be looking for him. He always leaves his connection open whenever clients or his friends need him. Zach is reliable like that.
Why isn't anyone answering?
His mobile is an out of range. His mobile in an out of range area sounds more plausible. His mobile in and out of range. Yep, got it. Although the thought of it doesn't completely shake off the unease. You guys got power banks? It's a necessity? Alright, glad I'm not the only one. Unlike Rebecca and I, he took the time to listen to what Isabella had been saying. Yes, he did. Good guy, Zach. And even if he didn't believe it, he was definitely the first to offer help or try to do something. If he ends up trouble doing whatever it is. What? I think they mean if he ends up in trouble doing whatever it is, so help me, I'm going to. Well, I can't be rash. I'm aware of that. Been running the same reminder in my head since last night. But if something happens, I'm certain my reaction won't be pretty. The added guilt from those times I've repeatedly dismissed him will surely haunt me.
Yo, Zach, call me back, alright? I wanted to check in and, yeah, just please call me back.
It's usually a joke between us when I say he's the Watson to my Sherlock. I don't see him as some assistant to put aside until he's needed, like some people like to believe, though. He's not some pity friend I keep around to make myself look good.
If anything, he's the one who stayed by me out of pity.
Zach's the only one who puts up with me most of the time, even when he doesn't need to. It's not a case of cool cop who helped out a minority. In truth, I was a hard-headed, hot-tempered, and reckless rookie up until I met him. It wasn't anything sudden, and some part of me is still that rookie. But I've grown, thanks to him. He tempers that part of me. Considering how our first impressions went, I'm lucky he stuck around. Beck and I may have spent a lot of years together as children, but Zach, he's probably the closest thing I'd call to a best friend. Though, it's more than that. A camaraderie no words can express. He has my back, and I'll always have his. He's a brother I've never had the luck of ever having. Only child and all.
And I have every reason to worry about my brother.
Oh, only child and all, sorry. Becca's neighbor did say she went out to meet with someone. No specific names. If I'm wrong, she's not with Professor Clark, then maybe it's with Zach. They've never been close, but it's not the kind of awkward friendship where meeting together remains out of the question. Regardless, I continue dialing for his phone another 3 times like I've done with Becca's. Yeah, because I think we've also seen in other episodes that Zach and Rebecca aren't the best of friends. They're more like in the same friend circle. In the end, after the 3rd attempt with no one answering, I stop and move to cut the call with a ragged exhale.
Waiting game it is then.
I've been trained for those. Hell, I'm used to them. Just not when it comes to people I'm close to. Much as I remind myself to maintain a level head, it's a whole different matter when it's someone you know. It's only an accident, but what happened to Isabella has proven that. Personal feelings will likely get involved at some point. It's starting now, actually. With the anxious strings coiling and uncoiling, causing a racket inside my stomach. And that's when the line finally connects. Before he even speaks, my question has already slipped out, including every pent-up worry and tension in my body.
Where are you?
The line's choppy, though I can still make out the words he's saying. Nothing to worry about then. He's just someplace where network coverage is shitty. You mean the mansion? Can't imagine where at this time of the morning, though. Did he go out for a jog?
That, Ash? Could you repeat that? Signal shitty here.
I asked, where are you? Hell, Zach, I've been calling your number for a good 20 minutes now. What kind of shithole did you get into?
Sorry, I just had a quick swig. I've meant that to sound as friendly as possible, to keep things light at least. Instead, only the frustration shows in my tone.
Good morning to you, too. I should be asking you that question. I've been looking all over the mansion for you. I thought you'd be...
What mansion?
Do I really need to answer that?
Why are you even...
Please don't tell me that's his plan. A morning visit to the mansion where Luke Wright is? Of all the pig-headed things to do right now, is the best thing he can come up with? Breaking and entering? I've got plenty of reasons? No, that's not right. I've got plenty of reasons to rail at him right now. Although no matter how much I want to give him a piece of my mind, unfortunately, it's not the time.
No, wait. Just get your ass to Isabella's place and hurry.
He pauses a moment, a second of indecision while he seems to contemplate his options.
How urgent is this?
In truth, the question, the hesitance and the indecision in his voice has caught me completely off guard, and understanding dawns on me. Is that a double space here? Maybe it's not. I don't know. Oh man, I'm probably seeing things. His decision to go there isn't one born out of stupid impulse. He must have found something. However, no matter how urgent it is, he still shouldn't have gone there, alone at that. Despite myself, in that split second of comprehension, I allow it to show. A weakness. A simple request brimming with every unease and disquiet causing turmoil within me since last night. It bears a selfish hope that he'll understand, even though the unstable signal that whatever's keeping him there, he'll be willing to set it aside for now.
Pressing enough for you to stop asking questions and get yourself here. Please, Zach.
Silence fills the other end of the line again. For a long moment, I assume he won't heed it, and I'll have to drive there myself just to drag him away from whatever dangers he's skirting. Thankfully, he agrees.
I'll be there in a few. An hour or 2 tops.
Thanks. I'll see you.
Relief washes over me as soon as the call ends. Normally, I don't let myself a moment of respite in times like this. Gotta stay alert. So what would have happened if we allowed Zach to break and enter into the mansion to chase after the ghost? Rebecca's still out there, has yet to return any of my messages, but for a moment, I relish in it. This is probably the first time I've permitted myself to do so since last night. Even the muscles in my shoulders have been complaining from all the tension I've taken on. It still annoys me that all I can do right now is grit my teeth and trudge back to Isabella's apartment. Useless. That's what I am in the face of this. A mad dash around Luxbourne and Ansem isn't going to help things. It's not like I'll simply stumble across them on this side of the road during a drive. This city's a too big place for one person to go searching for only 2 people.
That'd be like finding a needle in a haystack.
With one last frustrated glance towards the open skies, I prepare myself for the long wait. I might have already grown used to this, but the waiting will always be the hardest part. More so when it's the people you care about. And sure enough, boredom strikes minutes later, followed closely by anxiety. I need to be doing something, but what? I've already gone through those papers from BRC last night, twice in fact, and I'm still at a dead end. If Rebecca were here, hell, if only Isabella is here. Unconsciously, my attention drifts towards the closed door of her apartment, and it hits me the second my eyes land on it. A split second of idea. I didn't bother looking into this because all the time I've assumed it's an accident. But Cooper died. Isabella would have most likely received all the files from the Ermengarde mansion. In fact, she might not need to. They were partners, right? It's no longer a trainee-mentor thing. They both likely have the same copies of the documents. She might still be keeping some in her room. Something she hasn't been able to give us because of the accident. Ooh. Cowboy says, maybe he would have drove over to the mansion unless the phone wouldn't have worked in there. Then he'd just find him dead later on. You reckon he would have died? Oh, maybe. However, immediately after that thought forms, guilt also rears its head. The fact that I'm thinking about breaking into her apartment leaves an uneasy twinge in my stomach. It's wrong. All of it. It is wrong. Inappropriate on so many levels of propriety I adhere to. If she's here, I won't even consider this. Really now. But if she's here, will she allow it? My gaze swivels back to the door. It's as if the thing's inviting me. One thing's for sure, however. Knowing her, she'll do any possible means if it will save her friends from this curse. She can be stubborn like that sometimes, and it's enough to harden my resolve. So muttering Anne silent? No, it can't be Anne. It has to be A, because if it's A-N, then it has to be a vowel on the very first. Oh man, that's another mistake. We're catching so many of these. Alright, here we go. So muttering a silent apology to her and swallowing my guilt, I reach up for my bobby pins and begin my work on the lock. In under a minute, the knob clicks. Plural S. Knob clicks. And I quietly slip into her apartment. Whatever I am to find at the end of this, I hope it'll point me in the right direction. For the most part, they're doing good. I think it just needs some proofreading is all. Despite her aunt having brought most of her personal stuff to the hospital, her room's still a mess of things she has accumulated over the years. Papers, instant noodle cups, photographs, and posters all over the room. No matter where you look at this place, wherever you look at the place simply has Isabella written in it. Just 5 years, and she's left this big of a mark in our lives. I'd be lying if I say her presence didn't change a lot of things. Hey, 5 years is a long time. In Zach, in Rebecca, in me. However, there's no time to reminisce about all this. As nice and nostalgic those memories are, there's work to do, things to find, if there's even any in here. I won't know that by simply standing here, acting nostalgic. Wasting no time, I head straight for her study table, where a chaos of papers and folders clutter the top. There are instant noodle cups still, plus a few empty pens and crumpled paper littering the table. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting in here, isn't it? All points of interest in the room, but my focus veers on the laptop first. No malice intended, I'm simply looking for work files. Besides, I doubt she has anything to hide, and if it still means anything, that's exactly why Isabella has always worn her heart on her sleeve. Genuine, uninhibited, open, free. While it has often gotten her into all sorts of trouble, her candidness, that wholehearted look she has always displayed and carried with her, are things I will never have a reason to doubt. Others will say it's her warmth that draws people to her, or her cheer. Neither are wrong, but neither is the whole truth to her either. Because those who have never bothered to look beyond the surface will never see it. See her. See someone earnest. Someone who has always meant well, albeit her underlying stubbornness. See how she loves. An affection that is altogether both warm, steadfast, and unflinching. In many ways, for a lot of reasons, she's the kind of person I want to be around with. Aww! Who made me feel I am still worth something. You never meet many people like that, not in my line of work. Always with something to hide, always with something to lie about. Eventually, when you meet too many of them, you change too. You become like them. Perhaps the biggest thing I regret about this is I never had the chance to change that before she... The laptop finally boots up and loads the operating system. Although as soon as it does, I'm greeted by a password screen. For a few minutes, I try my hand at a couple of obvious ones she might use. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, password 1, QWERTY, admin, cinnamon rolls. None of it works.
At least she knows how to use the most common ones.
This adds a new layer of problem though. Knowing her, she must have written it somewhere. Not in the mess of papers here, but someplace she can quickly check. It's probably something she'll bring with her. Not necessarily a diary, but close to one. I've noticed one on her person several times before. Never saw its contents, but I've seen her write regularly on them while waiting for a meal in a restaurant or during lulls in a conversation. I just hope she's left where she's hidden. What? I just hope she's left where she's written her password somewhere here. Okay, got it. It's the drawers I start with from the bottom one. It takes a while going through the pile in each of the 3 layers, the bottom 2 yielding nothing but old records she's been keeping. The third one, though, yields one closer to what I'm looking for. All of the pages have already been filled.
Probably why she dumped it here.
Carefully flipping through each reveals notes from a meeting with a client. Sometimes there are doodles at the edges of the pages, others taking up an entire spread. All old ones, and nothing of use to me right now, but on the last page of the sheet folded in half... Oh, look at that! Oh, isn't that nice? Oh, that's beautiful. Opening it reveals a doodle of the 3 of us, Zach, Rebecca, and me, from how we looked about 4 or 5 years ago, give or take. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Japan, Bermuda Triangle, Korea, travel, Dr. S. There's some stamps. A Band-Aid, why? Clients, Yang Yang. Oh, that's the developer of the game. To-do list, eat, noodle, sleep. I like how it's eat and then noodle. Eating noodles is separate. Look at all this. This is beautiful. Cowboy says, Isabella is so involved in these stories. I wonder if you can even prevent that accident or if you can only change the outcome after she does end up in the hospital. I don't know. I mean, we can always do another playthrough from another time, but I think even if Isabella is dead, like if she did die, this would kind of play out the same, because right now she's in a hospital, right? So it's kind of like she's not even here. At the bottom, the words scrawled in a neat script after a few telling erasures. 707 Devlin 2011. 707 Devlin 2011. Despite myself and how dismal everything going on at present, a laughter slips from my lips, uninhibited and without care for who might hear. What does that mean? 707 Devlin Court. I remember handling that case from 5 years ago. Even got a recommendation from Inspector Abigail and a promotion to Detective Sergeant after wrapping it up. Some morbid case of a dead husband being stuffed in a sofa by his own wife? And at the heart of it, whoa! Isabella. Fresh off the boat, selling the first property assigned to her. Some sick sense of humor the universe must have, huh? Though in hindsight, if all that shit didn't happen, the 4 of us won't even be together. I wouldn't have met her. Yet, in the end, I can't even tell her. Instead, choosing to hide behind teasing words and friendly jibes because I'm a coward who can't even convey his feelings properly. Who can't even face the person he's become. Granted, it's not yet too late for her. She may still recover, but now there's only regret.
A badge, a gun, and I can't even protect my own friends.
To other people, these may just be a series of letters, but to us, to the people pictured on this page, they mean a whole different thing. Apparently, it also means a great deal to her. One sentiment that goes far beyond some sense of nostalgia. Enough to also use it as the password for her own laptop. True enough, it works. And soon, I have access on all of her work files. Nothing significant, though. Nothing I haven't already found last night. Perhaps the most noteworthy out of everything is the logs she's left that night. She has taken note of every client who attended the open house and worked on the mansion, even the outside contractors, although for what purpose I have no idea. Should I have also looked into those last night? They didn't seem that important though. If anything, I'll get the more looking into the deaths of those employees than some random people. I think they mean, I'll get more looking into the... So they don't need this here. Yeah, they don't need the here. Adding these clients to my list will only broaden my scope. But what if? What if Isabella's onto something here with the letter? Shit. There's no more room for regret, however. All of a sudden, a knock breaks the moment, and just as fast as my attention shifts towards the source, before I can even wallow in my mistakes, I hastily put everything back together, turn off Isabella's laptop, and open the door. Hopefully, I'll be greeted by some good news this time. Unrelated frustrations aside, once I step out of the room and accept the call, the stone that has been stuck in my stomach simultaneously lodges itself up in my throat. There in the hallway stands Zach, his hand raised, ready for another knock. Although he's not as at this... Wow, my god, I can't read. I'm so sorry. Although he's not at his most presentable at the moment, ruffled and drenched with sweat as he is, relief quickly washes over me like a tide. He's still panting when he pushes me aside and heads in.
You said it was urgent. Did anything happen? Is it Becca?
Everyone's fine. Well, Becca's not here. She went somewhere this morning and hasn't answered any of my calls yet.
So, nothing's wrong? Why'd you call me here for then? And what are you even doing here? You know Bella wouldn't be happy you're snooping around here. It's still hers.
My explanation can wait. He has a lot of explaining to do. The fact that he went to Anselm alone for some godforsaken reason warrants a proper one. Ghosts or not, he's already been given a warning. It frustrates me to no end this might be the plan he mentioned the last time we spoke. To get that he's worried about Hannah Wright, somehow they've become friends, but that's not the issue here. Not when there's a murderous ghost who might go after one of us at any given time. Sure as Zach made it here in one piece by some dumb luck, he's alright, and this takes one off the list of people I need to worry about. Frankly, as annoyed as I am, I can't just stay angry at him when I look at the situation that way. Hell, if that call didn't connect in that exact minute, there might have been a chance he won't be standing here. Oh man, that's foreshadowing. This is a blessing in itself. Though, first things first, some things still need to be discussed. What should I say to Zach? Number 1, you promised you won't do anything stupid. Or 2, you're okay. What should I say, guys? Number 1 or number 2? I will leave the decision up to you. So, actually, let me just see our relationship at the moment. We are not doing too hot with Zach. Alright. I think one of the options will probably give us good relationship with Zachary, but we're already quite behind on Zachary. I wonder what he'll say. But yeah, I'll give you guys 10 seconds to figure out which one you want to do. So, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, let's go random. Oh, what did I pick? Let's see, relationship. Oh, shit. Okay, we random onto the bad one. Specifically, the elephant in this room. And it's a damn big elephant considering the possible outcomes Zach's cute little plan might have resulted in. I might as well let off some steam first before we go to the harder things.
Zach, we agreed you won't do anything stupid.
Oh no, I just saw it. Oh dear, I just saw the number 2 now. Which one was number 2? Number 2 was the good one, wasn't it? Shit. Zach, we agreed you won't do anything stupid.
Really, Ashton? That's what you're gonna greet me with? No, what's up, Z-Man? I just biked through almost half of this city to get here. I could use some friendly greetings right now. An explanation would be good too if you can. You weren't very clear over the phone. And I made no such promises.
You said you're not going to do anything reckless. Your words, not mine. What you did is the exact opposite.
Yeah,
and that's not the only problem here. Those people can easily sue you for breaking and entering. And believe me, I won't be able to do anything if they do. Did that cross your mind? The whole 46-acre lot is a private property. Why were you even there?
I know, Ash. But the people in there might be in danger. You've seen how Hannah's photos turned out. Besides, I was looking for you. Didn't I tell you that?
Why would I even go there?
Well, you mentioned the plan. I assume that's where you went since that's where Isabella found the letter.
Why does the mic sound so different in that? Yeah, they might have gotten a different mic when they did that voice line. Odd.
Sorry. I was really at a dead end.
The logic in it stuns me into silence, to say the least. Then, I remembered his hesitance, the tone he has taken before agreeing to go here, and all at once, my anger wanes. Partly, this is my fault for keeping things vague. I can't keep berating him for assuming that when I've only left him with vague answers. Still...
You could have called me.
I did.
I didn't receive any, and my phone was with me.
Oh, really?
You're kidding, right? I was at it the whole night.
The whole atmosphere in the room changes in 2 heartbeats. Yeah, check our phone. Back again to the tension-riddled one plaguing us. Zachary stares at me like I've grown another head, the expression in his eyes questioning, asking for a confirmation like my words can't be trusted. Not that I'm holding it against him, I can't even believe the things coming out of my mouth these past few hours.
Please tell me you're joking.
You can check my phone logs if you want. I really didn't get any. But do it later. It's more important that you hear what happened at BRC last night. Zach, just as I was about to leave, I saw...
Oh my god, well, there goes our phone. Actually, I think this might be Rebecca, actually. Oh man, you know, we're berating him for breaking and entering the mansion. Well, that's exactly what we did at BRC. I never get to finish that. Abruptly, my phone rings again, blaring its badly sang ringtone throughout the whole room. Well, at least he knows it's bad. Zach pauses, waiting, when I pull it up to check the caller ID.
It's Becca.
It is Becca!
I'll tell her to get here as soon as she can. Excuse me.
Without another word, I slip out of the room and answer the call. Oh man, this is when Rebecca was safe, because she ran away from the ghost. However, the tone she assumes isn't what I'm hoping to hear.
Ashton, are you there?
Ragged, a bit out of breath, there's a tinge of urgency in it. Listening to her from my side of the line makes it seem like she has just run a marathon prior to this call.
Becca, where?
I got your message. What happened?
Nothing. Yet? Where are you?
Downtown. I had to make a quick visit to the library.
Oh god, yeah, this is the library segment.
Listen, Ash, that thing Isabella told us about. There's something you guys need to...
Yeah, hey, where's the phone filter for that voice line?
Please tell me you didn't... Whatever. Save it for later. I'm at Salemwell. If you can get here as soon as possible, that'd be really great. This is... related to that.
You're there?
Yeah, Zach too.
With a quick press of the button, I switch on the loudspeakers and step back into Isabella's apartment. I hold out the phone towards him, giving it 2 shakes, urging him to speak. He's still carrying... What? He's still carrying worried look on his face. I think they meant to say, he's still carrying a worried look on his face. This should ease that.
Rebecca's asking for you.
Hello, Rebecca. Odd morning we're having, eh?
Hey, Zachary. What's happening over there? Is this something I should be worried about?
Oh yeah.
We'll tell you once you get here. Please, hurry.
I don't like the sound of that, Ash. But I'm on my way. Give me a few minutes. I'm driving.
Well, there's that filter again. She mumbles a goodbye, then hangs up. Becca's the last person I need to account for, yet that call left an even more strained tension in the room. Thankfully, we don't have to linger in it for too long. She only takes a matter of minutes to get here, and the second she steps into the room, apologies spill out of her mouth first.
I'm sorry, Ash. Were you two waiting long?
It doesn't matter. What's important is you're here.
Not burnt to a crisp or brutally murdered somewhere. Whole, alive. Although she seems a bit shaken, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. At least now I can relax, ease the pressures off my shoulders, if only by some. But the minute she closes the door, she winces. A small reaction, Zach doesn't even catch it. It sets a precedence for a careful observation nevertheless. A closer look at her reveals a much more disheveled than usual, hair in a bit of a mess, probably flattened in a hurry. The back of her dress also shows stains of dirt in places it really gets into. She's also leaning more on using her left arm. She's right-handed. Perhaps the most telling is a slight limp she has once she leads herself into the room. Yeah, because she fell, because, oh yeah, and the ghost fucking, like, pushed a cart right into her body. It all spouts a hatful of questions. What exactly happened, and how she ended up in that state? Pretty sure a simple trip to the library won't do that. I grab for her arm before she can walk past, carefully to avoid hurting her, in case there really is an injury. Seems like it at first glance, but you can't be sure until after a careful examination has been made. I suspect some bruising at least. Although minor internal fractures aren't out of the equation, they have a nasty way of staying hidden. Sure enough, Becca tenses immediately upon contact. Tries to pull back, although the sudden gesture only elicits another wince, forcing her to halt. She turns to me, her eyes searching mine for answers, and doesn't appear quite pleased with the interruption, or the fact someone has brought it to light. But that someone also has to make sure. Ooh, alright, what should we do to Rebecca? Should we say, are you alright? So type in number 1 for are you alright, or number 2 for please tell me you didn't do something dangerous. I'll give you guys, 20 seconds, because I think that message was a bit delayed last time. So, yeah, go for it while I have a quick swig of this delicious, delicious solo right now. Oh, that is delicious. Oh, I see a number 1, so I'll give 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright. Are you alright?
You okay? You're limping.
As expected, she tries to hide it. How was that? Alright, we're back into neutral for Rebecca. This time, when she squirms from my grasp, it's enough force. She almost stumbles back if Zach has not caught her by the elbow. Even with another person shooting her concerned looks, she's swift to shrug it off.
It's fine. I just had a little accident.
Little accident? Hard to believe when her arm's nursing the supposedly fine arm. Zach doesn't appear to buy any of it either.
Really? In a library? Don't they have some sort of safety protocols there, like reminders and those kinds of stuff?
Well, yeah. It kinda caught me off guard.
Something's happened there, hasn't it?
I don't have to elaborate on the question further. Shortly, she goes very still, and the hand placed over her right arm shifts ever so slightly, its grip on the limb tightening. Not too firm to hurt, but just enough for a gesture of comfort for herself. Warily, she casts a glance at everyone in the room. It strikes me seconds later how utterly familiar her expression is. It's the same one I've seen far too many times in Isabella. Since that day at the movie house, every time her attempts to warn us have been so rudely dismissed.
Let me see.
Rebecca hesitates for a moment. Then, after a minute of consideration, she sighs and reaches for the hem of her sleeve. Raises it just enough for us to take a good look at it. Not swollen, but a large portion of her skin starting to turn an ugly shade of purple. Oh no, the ghost bruised her.
Oh, that is gonna be one hell of a nasty bruise.
Tell me about it. It was a library cart that hit me. You know, the old metal ones they keep near the history section.
Ouch! Like I said, nasty.
Is it the woman you mentioned? The one you said was sitting in the back of your car?
Yeah, I was in the archives, looking something up. Suddenly, she was just there. Ash, she was using my own students against me.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of terrible person does that? Oh, it makes my blood boil.
You should have just ran. That woman's not something you can hit with a book.
Laugh it up, Ashton. I did. Then the bloody cart came out of nowhere. And you know what? If it weren't for a damn book, I would be dead by now.
Oh yeah, she threw a book at the ghost. What a badass. Silence descends in the room as the gravity of that one word hits all of us. Dead. How many more close calls do we have to go through? How many deaths do we have to witness? How long can we keep this up? We're bound to break at one point. No normal human being with a sane mind can last like this, losing people important to them, one by one, right in front of them. I've already come close to losing Isabella. I'm not losing Zach and Rebecca too.
Let's leave these issues for now. There are some things, a lot of things, you guys need to know.
Well, if this is gonna be long, you better get a quick remedy for that arm. Let me fetch you one.
Like a cast? That makes the end of it. That marks the end of it, at least for the time being. And as soon as Zach returns and hands Rebecca the remedy he promised, we get straight down to business. Surprisingly easy considering the rigid air in the room. Although there's some tense fumbling for words at first, the whole conversation gains steam once what happened last night at BRC has been put on the table. All at once, everything we've brushed off, carelessly ignored, and rudely dismissed have been laid out for close scrutiny. Zach's encounter with the woman and his dreams, Rebecca's close brushes with death every time she appears, the dread, the fear, the terror she brings out, even in the bravest of us. Everything. Because no matter how bleak this all seems, there must still be a way out of this. There has to be. Logic be damned. Or at least, that's what I would like to believe. Yet, even as the cold morning light shifts the warm hues of late afternoon and eventually night, none of this still makes a fucking damn sense. Darkness has fallen, but we're still nowhere near figuring things out. If anything, we're more at a loss than we've ever been before we even started this. The next thing I know, frustration rears its ugly head, and the sheets of paper I've been holding smacks the table harder than I've intended. The sound of it echoes loudly in the small room, and everyone simply falls silent. Along with it is a release of another long-held breath. Perhaps the 100th since this morning.
We aren't getting anywhere at this rate.
Chill, Ash. You're the one who picked out these files. What are we supposed to be looking for here?
A pattern, something that might hint a way out of this. The guys from BRC have probably also read that dumb paper.
Not so dumb if it can kill all of us.
Very funny, Z-Man. Anyway, like I said, these guys from BRC have probably also read that dumb paper. They've been working on the mansion before the open house, but Isabella found it during.
Shouldn't we look into the mansion too? That's where the letter came from. That's where she came from.
We need to go there.
Maybe it's just as the professor says. There might be more to this than what we're thinking on the surface. Don't know, just a thought. I mean, look at all this stuff Rebecca brought with her. Apparently our teachers have been lying to us all these years. So who knows?
Hey, now don't blame us. Blame the bloody books they wrote.
Nah. Sighing, I reach for one of the papers Rebecca has brought with her and carefully inspects the words printed on the page. You know, I wonder, because Rebecca went to the library to gather evidence. If Rebecca didn't make it, would we even have as much evidence as... Oh, no. Okay, you know what? Yeah. A copy of an old newsprint from even before the city has been founded. Just a typical newsprint, but my eyes do linger at the illustration of a noblewoman's servant.
Any ideas why they're keeping this in the restricted section?
Rebecca merely shrugs at my inquiry, but her annoyance seeps through the answer.
How should I know? I wasn't even aware we have archives that go as far back as this. This is before the city was even founded. As a matter of fact, if it weren't for Andrew's help, I wouldn't have gotten my hands on any of it. Maybe they didn't think it would be important to talk about it. After all, this is more Anselm's than ours.
That or some old bugger's hiding something.
Why else would these tell a completely different story? Revising what's written seems a useless endeavor on its own when you have nothing to gain from it. But how does the mansion equate into all of this? How does the letter Isabella found does? Will bringing the letter back there fix everything? If I'm going to go by what Andrew told Zach, the connection between the letter and the mansion's curse may run deeper than what we've initially thought. That stupid paper might be at the heart of this for some reason, and we won't be able to figure this out without looking into the other. Fuck. How do I do? The mansion's a private property now. Mansions? I don't think they need A here. The mansion's private property now. Can't just waltz in there. I'd rather die before I even think of begging Wright to let me in and investigate the place. One thing's very clear after these last 2 days, however. We're not safe anywhere, and I have to act fast if I want to keep my own friends alive. We can't keep running away. Sooner or later, she'll get us, like she almost did with Isabella. Before that happens, I have to put an end to this. Sighing, I stand up and stretch out the kinks in my back after several hours of sitting. We've been at this for too long. A break is needed. Time to let everything to sink in. I don't think... What? They don't need that either. Time to let everything sink in, or else we'll all burn out. I know I will. And it's another thing I can't let happen when they're all counting on me like this. Albeit unspoken, it's in their eyes as they look up at me, waiting.
We've been at this for hours. We should take a break for a few...
The rest of it never makes it out of my stomach as something heavy and grating sounds from the far end of the room. Oh, really? It can get us even though we're all together? Oh, of course it can. Why did I think? A harsh booming noise rendering through the eardrums of everyone in the room. All at once, the two of them are on their feet while I quickly palm for my gun on the table. However, before I can pull it up and remove the safety, the whole racket stops. Stillness descends in the room, and amidst the sudden hush, the three of us exchange anxious glances. So much for a break.
I don't like the sound of that. At all.
Gather everything.
No questions asked, they waste no time getting to work piling up the documents we've been reading through. But before we can even finish, another noise ups the tension already gripping the place. Oh, is that the windows? Suddenly the lights go out and the wardrobe, it's a wardrobe, at the end of the room rattles as if something inside begs for freedom. Cautiously, eyes glued to it, I take a step forward and release the lock from my gun. I'm no trigger happy person. I'm not even sure if this will work on a ghost, but right now, its smooth surface against my palm with the trigger on my finger provides the closest thing I have to relief as I approach the closet.
Ashton, I have everything. What are you doing?
Yeah, we gotta get out of here!
I don't think that's a good idea. We should just...
Worried as they both are, they immediately stop at the slight raise of my hand. But the edge is there while they all huddle in the space between the door and the room. We should get the fuck out of here! In case this goes south, whatever I find inside, they have enough time and space to run from their position. In two deep breaths, I've crossed the room and stood in front of the closet. Oh, I don't like this. Whatever's inside has yet to stop thrashing. Instead, it has now moved to banging at the door, louder and louder the longer I dally. Another shallow breath, a glance at my companions, a nod. Something creaks. Then, in the next moment, I'm grasping at the handles and swinging the doors wide open to reveal... nothing. Whew. Right away, I part the clothes hanging on it, and still none. No ghost, no woman, not a single trace of whoever's inside. Man, in like horror movie tropes and shit like this, they're usually behind us, aren't they? Confused, I glance back towards Zach and Rebecca, only to see them mirroring the same expression on my face. The noise has finally stopped, but I'm quite sure it isn't my imagination. Or maybe it is, and I'm just too stung up that my head's now making things up. Whatever the case is, we need to get out of here as soon as possible. Yeah, no shit! This only confirms we aren't safe anywhere. Without bothering to close it, I move back, ready to leave. Adrenaline now coursing through every vein in my body. In the next second, I'm barking orders and...
We should go. You two, we need to...
I'm spent sprawling on my back as something cold catches my ankle and yanks. Oh no! No. The resulting fall knocks the wind out of me. Pain racks my whole spine and the back of my head as it collides against the floor with force enough to dislodge my own brain from my skull. A moment lasts before stars fade from my vision, and then I sense it. Cold tendrils twisting around my ankles, the smell of vile rot assaulting my nose, nauseating, sickening, a foul smell draining every feeling in my body. The moment her horrid laughter, still as unpleasant and vicious as the last time I've heard it, reaches my ears. My eyes snap open. Oh no! Oh god, it's even worse! Perhaps it's just inexperience, or maybe my mind's still attempting to comprehend this. Regardless, the minute my eyes land on her, the whole of my body freezes. The gun in my hand turns useless as my grip on it slackens. It's in the manner her gaze bores on me, I'll say. The look of utter hatred and malice. I've seen it loads of times from suspects, mostly murderers who never regretted the actions despite being caught. This is the face of someone you can no longer reason with. And I know, the moment she laughs again and starts dragging me towards her, it's already going to be the...
Ashton! Snap out of it!
Isabella? No. I can't die here. Not yet. The haze fades from my mind and instinct kicks in. Then and there... Are we gonna kick her face?
Everyone out! Get out! Get out of here!
With one powerful tug, I yank my foot out of her grip and scramble back to my feet, ignoring the piercing wails she fills the room with. Within the span of a second, I'm gunning for the door, grabbing the wrist of the first person I can my hand can reach and leading the two of them out. Into the hallway, down the flight of steps, and right inside my car. I waste no time flooring on the gas pedal the second the last person closes the door behind them, and in a short while, I'm driving us out of Salem Well. I don't even entertain the thought of winding down just yet, even as the last of the woman's painful cries fade into the night. Oh! Holy shit! Wow, okay. We have almost been streaming for 3 hours. I feel like there is another 3 hours to come. So, let me save right there and then. Save. Oh boy. Ashton. Holy shit. Wow. Man, well, I hope you guys have enjoyed that playthrough. It was almost 3 hours, and we still got like probably another 3 hours to go for Ashton's route. That was close. That was very, very, very close. Holy cow. I hope you guys have enjoyed that. It was super, super good, and I loved every bit of Ash's playthrough. Yeah, we'll be doing more of this coming up tomorrow. Now, I know tomorrow's not my usual stream, but I do really want to get through this, and I reckoned that because this is such a long game, I might actually have to play through all the way to Thursday, I reckon. Only because I reckon Luke's route is very, very long as well. So, yeah, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, guys, and yeah, I'm gonna start. I've still got like about 4 people. I've never really done this, and it's only for Twitch as well. I'm gonna start raiding another channel right now, so I'm gonna just go ahead and do that. Let me go start raid. I think that worked. Oops. Nope. I don't know how to do that. I was trying to start raid, but I have no idea how. It's a thing that's for, I guess, Twitch, and I don't really know how to do it, but yeah, awesome. Until then, guys, I will catch you guys tomorrow again. See you later.